this time. Mr. Yi, are you leaving now? Let me see you off. Ying Bai then escorted Yi Xian out with a smile on his face. While seeing him off respectfully, he suddenly remembered something and asked Yi Xian humbly. By the way, Mr. Yi, the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference is about to begin. Do you want to go and take a look? After hearing this, Yi Xian thought for a while and nodded slightly. Well, let's go and take a look. Ying Bai was delighted again when he heard this and quickly made an invitation. Since Mr. Yi is also interested, shall we go together? Good. Yi Xian agreed and then slowly walked out. Everyone saw him off all the way until they saw Tang Hao driving away in a Hongqi L5 carrying Yi Xian. Although they knew Yi Xian's strength and were aware that he was someone who should not be provoked, the young ladies who were the winners still felt a little aggrieved, especially when they saw their uncles treating Yi Xian like this. After all, they are used to being arrogant in their daily lives and have hardly ever experienced anything like this, so it is difficult for them to go from luxury to frugality. What's more, this time when he came to Zhengzhou, not only was there no one to greet him, but he also rushed all the way to this hotel to vent his anger, but he met Yi Xian again. Right now, all the anger is just stuck in my heart. It would be a lie to say that I don't feel uncomfortable, but I can't show it. I have to pretend that nothing happened. Everyone stood there and watched the red flag disappear on the brightly lit street before they breathed a sigh of relief. Because even though Yi Xian always looked calm, he still gave them a suffocating feeling of oppression. The young man looked at Ying Bai's thoughtful expression, walked up to him and asked curiously. Uncle, you invited him to the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. Don't you need to ask the old man for permission? The young man knew the old man's temper. Moreover, this was a big matter. They were also descendants of the collateral branch, so they were still a little worried. Don't worry, I will introduce Mr. Yi to the old man. After all, our winner is about to be born. Hearing this, the young man felt a little disdainful in his heart, and the corners of his mouth curled slightly, looking in the direction where Yi Xian disappeared. At this moment, he couldn't help but think in his heart that the 8 major families of China have influenced countless political situations since ancient times. With the changing of times, countless eras have been destroyed and emerged. But today, their 8 major families still exist in the world and have considerable power. Even though Yi Xian is a 5-star dragon general, there is no need to worship him like this, right? Thinking about this, the young man looked at Ying Bai again and asked a few more questions with some doubts. Uncle, don't blame me for being talkative. I just think that we don't need to be so respectful to Mr. Yi, right? We, the winners, have witnessed countless histories today, but we have never fallen, and we are even stronger than before. Mr. Yi is just a darling of the new century. We, the winners, should also have a considerable deterrent effect on him. Ying Bai frowned when he heard this, and before the young man could continue speaking, he interrupted him with a light shout. Ridiculous! What do you know? I advise you to put away your ignorance in front of outsiders in the future. You must never say these words. Mr. Yi's power is one of the best among the 8 major families. Even if we cannot establish diplomatic relations with such people, we must never provoke them. Do you understand? Today I will say nothing more than you are young and ignorant, but if I hear you say these things again in the future, I will punish you according to the family rules. Looking at Ying Bai's serious expression, the young man knew that his uncle was a man of his words and he was not joking with him. Chapter 221 Go to the 8 Directions Forum. Uncle, I understand. I will never say that again. At that moment, the young man lowered his head and dared not say anything more. Not long after, Yi Xian returned home. When the little ones heard the door open, they ran over quickly and even scared Wang Xinyo, who was standing nearby. Dad! You're finally back. After opening the door, before Yi Xian could react, several little ones threw themselves into his arms, calling him daddy one after another with great affection. Well, Dad wasn't out for long. Seeing the little guys, Yi Xian naturally showed a doting smile on his face, and then he spoke to the little guys. By the way, Dad has good news for you. We are going to attend a grand event in a few days. It's really fun. The children were delighted when they heard this, and they pulled Yi Xian inside excitedly, muttering to themselves non-stop. Great! We can go out and play again. Ha ha ha. Dad can make snacks for us again. I really want to eat the snacks my dad made. I'm so hungry. Yi Xian looked at the excited looks of the little guys and was immediately amused, saying with a smile. Wait. You little greedy cats, who promised to make snacks for you? Dad, you are the best, we really want to eat it. Hey, Dad, if we go out to play, we should also prepare some dry food, right? Dad, if you make snacks for us, we will be very happy. If we are happy, Dad will be happy too. The little guys immediately started to act proudly, calling Dad sweetly one by one, looking at Yi Xian with aggrieved eyes, as if they would not accept being refused. Okay, Dad promised you, isn't that enough? Yi Xian had no choice but to smile and nod in agreement. Dad! We love you! Seeing Yi Xian agreed, the little guys were delighted and threw themselves into Yi Xian's arms again, smiling happily, as if they had already tasted the deliciousness of the snacks. A few days later, Yi Xian changed his clothes, walked to the bedroom door, and asked the little guys. Girls, are you ready? If you are, we are about to set off. Dad, we'll be there soon. When the little guys heard Yi Xian's voice, they quickly changed their clothes and put on their own small bags. Then Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao packed up the prepared food. Several little ones also came down at this time. When they saw the snacks being packed, their eyes suddenly lit up and they all came over. Looking at the delicious desserts and potato chips and the exquisite packaging, the children were tempted and stretched out their little hands to try a little. It's not time for snacks yet. Didn't you just have dinner? But how could their little tricks be hidden from Yi Xian? Just as they stretched out their hands, they were slapped back by Yi Xian. Dad, we were wrong. A few of the little guys nodded, but they almost drooled at the corners of their mouths. Afterwards, Yi Xian placed the snacks in their respective small bags, and carried a bag with the rest. After everyone went out, Longshu and Bai Ling were already waiting outside. The little guys looked left and right but didn't see Long Fei, so they asked hurriedly. By the way, where's Sister Long Fei? Why can't I see her? Bai Ling smiled, walked up and gently rubbed the heads of the little guys, then pretended to be angry and said. Your sister Long is busy now. Why don't I stay with you? The children saw Bai Ling pretending to be angry and immediately believed it. They hurried over to comfort and apologize, fearing that they had really made Bai Ling angry. Sister Bai Ling, that's not what we meant. We know we were wrong. Yes, we are very happy to have Sister Bai Ling accompany us. Sister Bai Ling, please don't be angry. Seeing the little guys looking like they had done something wrong, Bai Ling immediately found them cute and then she smiled again. Okay, your sister Bai likes you the most, how could she be angry? Yi Xian walked over with a smile, holding a bag of desserts in his hand, and threw it to Longshu and the others. Longshu, these are for you to eat. Try to see how I cook them. Thank you, Brother Yi. Longshu looked at the dessert in his hand and rarely smiled. If it were in the past, Brother Yi would not have had the leisure to do these. Come on, brothers, this is what Brother Yi gave us. Afterwards, Long Yi distributed the desserts to the people around him and took a piece of cake into his mouth. But after taking just one bite, Longshu was stunned, closed his eyes, and smiled with enjoyment. Brother Yi! This cake you made is much more delicious than those Michelin chef's homemade desserts. While savoring it carefully, Long Yi couldn't help but praise it. It's nothing, as long as you like it. Yi Xian smiled and shook his head. He had never seen Longshu eat like this. He felt so ecstatic and enjoyed it so much. Is it that delicious? Bai Ling was also feeling a little annoyed, so she approached Longshu with a smile and gave him a chuckle. Hey, Mutu, can you give me some to taste? However, when Longshu saw Bai Ling coming over, not only did he not give it to her, he turned his back to Bai Ling, stuffed food in his mouth, and mumbled something indistinctly. No, this is given to us by Brother Yi. This. Bai Ling's face was suddenly filled with black lines, and she didn't know what to say. How could this guy be so childish when protecting his food? After a while of noise, Ing Bai arrived here as promised, accompanied by the young man Ing Yu and the young lady Ing Xin. Mr. Yi. Sorry we are late. Sorry to have kept you waiting. Ing Bai looked at Yi Xian and quickly came over with a flattering smile. It's not too late, we just came out. Yi Xian waved his hand, this was just the right time. Seeing that everyone was present, they set off immediately without further delay. This time the destination was Tianqing Mountain in the same province. After arriving at the airport by car, everyone took a chartered plane to Tianqing Mountain. On the plane, a few little ones were looking at the scenery outside the window, looking extremely excited. Mountains, rivers, clouds, everything is in sight from this high altitude. Although it is not the first time for the children to take a plane, they still enjoy appreciating the scenery. Yi Xian accompanied the little ones with a smile and told them the fairy tale of the city in the sky. Wang Xinyao leaned on Yi Xian's shoulder with a smile and slowly fell asleep as the plane rocked slightly. Chapter 222. Are you kidding me? In this cabin, this scene was particularly heartwarming. Longshi, Bai Ling, and others looked over and all revealed a relieved smile. But it was different on the winner's side. Although Ingbi didn't have any reaction, Ingyu and Yingxin were thinking completely different things. Looking at Yi Xian's look of a super dad, the two people who were not very fond of Yi Xian in the first place were even more speechless. How could Yi Xian, who was like this, be connected with the strong man that Ingbi mentioned? The journey on the plane did not last long. After an hour or so, everyone arrived at the Tianxingshan airport. Ingbi had already arranged for people to come and greet him, and he did not dare to be negligent towards Yi Xian in the slightest. After everyone walked out of the airport, they got on the special car that the winner had brought to greet them. Without stopping for long, they arrived directly at the foot of Tianqing Mountain. The mountain is very high, and people can see the clouds lingering on the top of the mountain from the foot of the mountain, which has the beauty of a sacred mountain and beautiful water. However, some parts of Tianqing Mountain are quite steep. While towering into the clouds, they also give people a feeling that they are insurmountable. Are we going to climb up here? Wang Xinyao couldn't help shivering when she looked at the mountain. It was not easy to climb up. It's okay, just follow me. Yi Xian smiled easily, then looked at the little guys and said, just follow your sister Bai Ling and Uncle Longya. Longya. After hearing what Yi Xian said casually, Longshi couldn't help but be silent. Did he mean that he was old? Good. The children agreed obediently, and Yi Jing ran to Longshi's legs and pulled the corner of Longshi's clothes. Thank you, Uncle Ryuya. Looking at the cute and innocent little girl, Longya smiled and didn't think too much about it. He picked up Yi Jing. The other little ones were also picked up by Longshi's brothers. Yi Shi trotted to Bai Ling and smiled sweetly at her. Sister Bai Ling, come and hold me. Okay. But you have to give me a piece of food before I hug you, otherwise I will be too weak to hold you. Yi Shi puffed up her cheeks and looked at the only piece of dessert she had left. Although she was a little conflicted, she still handed it to Bai Ling. Bai Ling took the dessert and was also happy. She broke off half and put it in her mouth, and gave the other half back to Yi Shi. Thank you, Xiaoxi. Then we'll each have half. Hee, Sister Bai Ling is the best. Yi Shi smiled foolishly and ate the dessert in one bite. Bai Ling gently wiped the dessert residue from the corner of Yi Shi's mouth, and then picked up Yi Shi. Yi Xian held Wang Xinyao's hand, and they all walked towards the mountain. Along the way, Ingbai was chatting with Yi Xian and talking about the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. Suddenly, Ingbai remembered that he had been invited to teach in the Yanhuang military department, and asked with emotion. Mr. Yi, the development of the Yanhuang army has reached a bottleneck, right? How do you plan to develop it next? Yi Xian was also stunned when he heard this, and smiled at Ingbai. You've got the point. Let me think about it. After saying this, Yi Xian fell into deep thought. Although this refreshing potion is good, it can only improve the soldier's physical fitness and various indicators such as strength. However, for a team like the Yanhuang army, it is not too much of a waste if its members only have strength. It will be useless if they lack skills. Thinking about this, Yi Xian suddenly had an idea in his mind, and he suddenly looked at Ingbai beside him. Ingbai was also frightened when he saw Yi Xian's eyes. He smiled awkwardly, but had a bad feeling in his heart. Afterwards, Yi Xian looked at Ingbai deeply, with the corners of his mouth slightly raised, and said seriously, I plan to incorporate the people of the 8 major families into the Yanhuang military department. Boom! Suddenly, as Yi Xian said this, all the winners were stunned. They all stopped and looked at Yi Xian, unable to believe what they had just heard. To incorporate the people of the 8 major families into the Yanhuang military department, this is really an exaggeration. Yi Xian is a 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuang military. It can even be said that as long as Yi Xian is willing, he can take charge of the entire Yanhuang military at any time. And what does this mean? By incorporating the people from their 8 major families into the Yanhuang military, wouldn't it be a natural thing for them to fall under Yi Xian's command? For a moment, everyone's minds were buzzing and their expressions were confused. This sentence was spoken too suddenly. The winners were all secretly surprised at this moment. Was Yi Xian crazy? Didn't he know that he wanted to recruit their 8 major families? Ingbai also had a dazed look on his face at this time, staring at Yi Xian in amazement. From what he said just now, he couldn't tell that Yi Xian was joking. Besides, who would joke about such things for no reason, especially when discussing such a serious topic and the other party is of such a high status? But if this was really the truth, Ingbai couldn't accept it. After being stunned for a long time, he forced a smile and asked Yi Xian, "General Yilong, you are so humorous. Is this a joke?" Ingbai and the others were all stunned for a moment. They couldn't believe that there were people in this world who had the courage to say such words. Even if we look at the world, although these 8 families are not the most powerful, they are the top families in China and one of the most powerful forces in the world. What confidence does Yi Xian have that he can say without any hesitation that he wants to merge the 8 great families into the Yanhuang military? Bai's face looked a little ugly at this time. He took a few deep breaths, but still couldn't accept what Yi Xian said. He just asked about this matter casually just now, just wanting to get a little closer to each other. Yu and Xian, who were walking aside, had playful expressions on their faces and secretly laughed in their hearts, thinking that Yi Xian was really ungrateful and this was simply a foolish dream. You have to know the background of these 8 families. They are big families that have existed since ancient times, and they have influenced China's political affairs countless times. Even though the strength of their 8 major families is slightly overshadowed by the existence of the Yanhuang military, they cannot be mobilized with just a few words. If the 8 major families were really enraged, not only would the Yanhuang military be unable to control it, the entire China would be shaken. If these 8 forces were to gather together, the level of terror they would cause would be beyond words. It is definitely not something that Yi Xian can control alone. Chapter 223, Discussions from All Sides. The two felt mocking and puzzled at the same time. How did their uncle find such a person who would say such words? If this is brought to the 8 Directions Martial Arts Tournament, wouldn't it be a disgrace to the winners? Ahem. General Yilong, you may not know much about our 8 families. The 8 great families are a force that has existed in China for who knows how many years. I also know that you are thinking about the development of the Yanhuang military department, but your plan is still a bit too grand, and it will be difficult to realize it step by step. Bai didn't say anything directly. After all, this was the strong man he wanted to make friends with. So he just reminded Yi Xian in a tactful way, then moved closer to Yi Xian and spoke in a low voice. General Yilong, please just tell me what you are saying. Don't tell anyone else. You really can't say things like this casually. General Yilong, I will introduce you to our old man later, but I am afraid that besides our old man, there will be some other family heads present at that time. When that time comes, you must not say what you just said. In such occasions, you still have to be careful about what you say and do, otherwise it will easily bring you into trouble. Bai was speaking earnestly at this time. In addition to admiring Yi Xian's personal strength, he also wanted to make friends with such a person. This would be beneficial to them, the winners. However, Yi Xian did not say anything, nor did he express anything. He just listened silently. At this time, everyone did not stay long and continued to walk towards the mountain. Bai continued talking to Yi Xian along the way, gradually leading the topic to other places. Yu and Xian, who were standing aside, listened to Bai's words, but they still laughed at Yi Xian in their hearts. He really didn't know his place. Although being able to sit in the position of the 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuang military department does require some ability. But just because of this, he is arrogant and thinks that he can interfere in the affairs of the 8 major families, or even influence the 8 major families. This is a bit untactful. Originally, they thought that Yi Xian was an excellent person in all aspects. At least to be able to reach this position, he should have such qualities. But looking at it now, the person who can say such words seems to be just a fool. General Yilong, you must remember what I just said. After we go up, you must not say the same thing again. Otherwise, if something really happens, I will not be able to help you. Let's just pretend that what happened just now never happened, and don't take it to heart anymore. Just pretend that we are the only ones who know about this matter. Seeing that they were about to reach the top, Bai felt a little scared, fearing that something might go wrong, so he reminded Yi Xian again. However, Yi Xian just smiled slightly, and then pulled Wang Xinyao to continue walking up. Sometimes when they encountered a steep slope, he would even pick her up directly. Seeing that Yi Xian didn't seem to care much about this matter, Bai was helpless. He thought that he hoped nothing would happen later. If something really happened, he would have a hard time explaining it. The winners walked along the way, looking troubled because of what Yi Xian had just said. In addition to being worried, they gradually became dissatisfied with Yi Xian. But the situation on Yi Xian's side was completely different. They all seemed to be here for a trip and everyone was very relaxed. The little guys were being held by Bai Ling and others at this time. They were also feeling very excited looking at the scenery in the mountains. Uncle Longya, you've been holding me for so long, aren't you tired? At this time, Yi Jing also looked at Longshire, who was holding her sensibly, and asked with some concern. It's okay, Uncle is not tired at all. Longya smiled and shook his head. At this moment, he did not look like the famous top of the bounty list, but rather like a brother next door who was out for fun with his sister. Yi Shi also wiped the sweat off Bai Ling's forehead from time to time. In order to make Bai Ling happy, she also told them the story that Yi Xian told them in a baby voice. However, on the other side, several figures flashed on the mountain, and when they saw Longshire and the others below, they narrowed their eyes. One of the young men looked at the people around him and frowned. Is the second young master back? Hearing this, the others shook their heads and sighed. No, nothing has disappeared until now. It seems that things are not going well. I'm afraid. Ji Ming nodded silently, as if he had accepted the reality, and closed his eyes silently. That's it, you guys just watch first, I'll go talk to the old man. After saying this, Ji Ming took a step forward, but turned around and looked down the mountain again, staring at Ing Bai and the others, and sighed softly. This was something he had not expected. He did not expect that the winner would actually get together with them. It seemed that he really had to tell the old man about this matter. However, the winner should also have self-knowledge and will not break up with them because of an outsider. This is not a good thing for either party. Besides, there is no need to do this just for Yi Xian. Ji Ming looked for a while, and after he came to his senses, he turned around and walked away without any further delay. The remaining Ji family members also looked up and down with unfriendly eyes, and each of them had their own thoughts in their minds. Back to Yi Xian and the others, as they got closer to the mountain, they saw more and more people on the roadside. Dad, this mountain is so difficult to climb, why are there so many people here? Yi Jing lay on Longshire's shoulder and looked at Yi Xian behind him, and asked with some confusion. Maybe this means that the more difficult and dangerous the mountain is, the more people will be attracted to climb it. Oh, I see. Yi Jing pouted and nodded half-knowingly. Although she didn't quite understand, she still found it quite interesting. Just at this moment, a few young men came towards the crowd. Several of them were wearing white tang suits, looking energetic, with a hint of arrogance between their brows, and they glanced at everything around them in a defiant manner. They are also one of the families that came here to participate in the Bafang Martial Arts Conference, the Jiang family, one of the 8 major families. The young man in the lead was a little confused when he saw Yi Xian and others, but when he saw Ing Bai and others, he became even more confused. The leading young man immediately stepped forward, frowned, and looked at Ing Bai, who was talking to Yi Xian. Chapter 224, So Dangerous. Uncle Ing, what's going on? This is the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. Why did you bring outsiders here? There was a hint of dissatisfaction in the young man's voice. He looked at Yi Xian and the others. When he saw Wang Xinyo and a few little guys, he was speechless. They actually came here with their families, right? After all, this is one of the most important events for the 8 major families. No matter how great the winner is, you shouldn't bring outsiders here. It's Jiang Qing. Let me introduce you. This is Yi Xian, the 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuan army. General Yi Long. I came here specially to take a look. I don't have any other intentions. Ing Bai saw Jiang Qing coming and gave a brief introduction. General Yi Long, this is Jiang Qing, the 3rd young master of the Jiang family of the 8 great families. Yi Xian looked at Jiang Qing, but there was no interest in his eyes, he just nodded slightly. But when Jiang Qing saw this, he felt even more upset. What kind of attitude is this? Soon, the noise here also attracted many people nearby. People from various major families were quite unhappy when they saw the winner coming up with a group of outsiders. On the Jiang family's side, Jiang Chang already had some opinions about Yi Xian in his heart. After all, he was an outsider. Not only did he come here, but he also looked as if he didn't care about anyone else. But this person was brought by the Jiang family after all. Jiang Qing couldn't get angry at this time, so he looked at Ing Bai, who was standing aside. Ing Bai, in terms of age, you can be considered my senior. You are not unfamiliar with these rules, so I don't need to say anything more. But since this is your winner's distinguished guest, please do as you please. As he spoke, Jiang Qing and the people behind him also made way, looked at the departing backs of Yi Xian and the others, snorted coldly, and then waved their sleeves and left. What's going on with this winner? What's the point of bringing outsiders here? Haha, who knows? Let's wait and see. Just don't do anything naughty. What a joke. Who would dare to mess around in front of our 8 families? But the winner is still a little unruly. The people from other families around also talked about this, and they all expressed dissatisfaction with the winner's behavior. Yi Xian and others didn't think much about it, and continued walking upwards, and soon arrived at the place. As the mountain road came to the end, the road under everyone's feet suddenly became clear, and more people appeared in front of them. What is before us is the site of the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. In the middle is a white jade platform that is hundreds of meters long and wide. It is huge and looks particularly exquisite. In the center of the jade platform there is a big word Wu, which is deeply carved on the surface of the jade platform and seems to show some signs of age. Although it is just a single word, it appears brilliant and powerful, with a majestic style, and can be regarded as a masterpiece. There were high platforms set up around the jade platform, and there was a large area on top of them, which had stands, rest areas, private rooms, and small martial arts arenas. Most of the visitors from various families gathered on these platforms. The platform was divided into 8 areas, each representing a family. There were also bunches of flags hung on it, embroidered with the family names. Although the 8 Directions Martial Arts Competition has not officially started yet, many people from various families have already arrived. Some are communicating with each other, while others are competing on the small arena. There were also some older people who were sitting together drinking tea and looking at their younger generations with a hint of pride in their eyes. The scene before us can be described as bustling with traffic and bustling with activity. It is hard to imagine that there is such a place on the top of a mountain. Not to mention the fact that it could attract so many people, just the jade platform and the high platform alone could be considered a huge project. But this is not surprising. After all, they are the 8 major families. They still have some means. It is not too difficult to build a place like this. Moreover, this is the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference, and each family attaches great importance to this event. Not only the younger generations in the family, but also the heads of each family have come to the scene in person. Everyone was looking around at this moment, and all of them felt their eyes brighten. On the small arena above, several intense competitions were still going on. In one of the families, 2 young men were seen engaging in a fierce battle. One of them punched with powerful force, like the roar of a tiger or a dragon, and bombarded the other one wildly. Although the opponent was coming with great force, the other young man was not afraid at all. He moved lightly and nimbly, dodging all the fierce attacks. His sharp eyes were also catching the opponent's flaws, ready to launch a counterattack at any time. Although they were their own children, the 2 showed no mercy. This was also a sufficient preparation for the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. The fight at this time was also to find the correct form. The little ones were also very excited when they saw the scene in front of them, and they shouted at Bai Ling Longshi and the others to let them down. Uncle Longya, please let me down, I want to go take a look ahead. Sister Bai Ling, please let me down, I want to go and see it too. Wow! It's so lively here. The children were very happy. Although they didn't know what this place was about, they thought it was fun. At this moment, there were people fighting on the platform, which immediately attracted the children's attention. However, when they saw this vigorous and powerful confrontation, they opened their mouths wide. Wow! What are they doing? Why are they fighting? All of a sudden, the little guys started to get anxious. They quickly turned around and pulled Bai Ling and Longshi, still muttering anxiously. Uncle Longya, Sister Bai Ling, look! There's a fight going on up there. Let's stop them quickly, or we'll get hurt. Yeah, it looks dangerous. Seeing the anxious looks of the little guys, Yi Xian walked over with a smile, squatted down, looked at the little guys, and explained softly. It's okay. These brothers and sisters are not fighting. They are all martial artists. They are just practicing their moves. This is also part of their daily training. Ah! It's not a fight. The little guys stuck out their tongues and felt relieved after they realized it was a misunderstanding. After knowing that it was not a fight, a few girls jumped over to watch, clenching their fists. They seemed to be even more nervous than the people on the stage. Yi Xian was also watching. To be honest, this was his first time here. After all, the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference is not something you can see at any time. It is held only once every 60 years. Paying attention to the 2 young men fighting above, Yi Xian nodded slightly. Among the young generation today, such strength can be considered good. Chapter 225 Not a Vegetarian. While the two young men were fighting, many people gathered around to watch. The two middle-aged men in the lead watched attentively and nodded with satisfaction. Yes, Yao Kai and Yao Xing are indeed very capable. They are also among the best among the younger generation of our Yao family. One of the middle-aged men laughed appreciatively, with a hint of a smile on his lips. Indeed, the two of them have made sufficient preparations for this 8 Directions martial arts conference during this period of time. The other man also smiled, feeling full of confidence in the two of them. Yao Kai and Yao Xing on the stage were fighting hard at this time. Yao Kai's attack was fierce, while Yao Xing was light and agile. The fight was very entertaining. What a pity, one only focuses on attacking, and the other only focuses on defending. Their skills are not bad, but their strength is still a little lacking. After watching the two people fighting for a while, Yi Xian said something casually and stopped watching. This scene happened to be heard by Jiang Cheng and others who had just walked up, and they couldn't help but sneer. Who is this person that the winner brought up? How dare he point fingers at people from the 8 major families? Alas, that's why people should be able to see things. The more ignorant a person is, the bolder he is. Ha ha ha, this is what ignorance means. This winner is really funny. He actually brought such a person with him. He looks like a country bumpkin, but he doesn't feel ashamed. Jiang Qing and the others just treated Yi Xian's casual comment as a joke and walked towards their family's location. Ying Bai also walked to Yi Xian's side at this time, but his eyes were always looking at a place not far away. General Yi Long, I'm sorry to leave you for a moment. I have to go meet our winner's grandfather first. Yi Xian nodded slightly, and Ying Bai called Ying Yu and Ying Xian over. I'm going over first. You guys stay with General Yi Long, got it? I know, uncle. Don't worry. The two nodded helplessly, although they were not very willing in their hearts, but since Ying Bai said so, they had no choice but to agree. Okay, I'll go over first then. After giving some instructions, Ying Bai left with peace of mind, but Ying Yu and Ying Xian did not have much interest in Yi Xian. Mr. Yi, you guys go around first, we have some private matters to attend to and need to go over there. After Yi Xian walked around for a while, the two felt that it was boring, so they found a random excuse and left Yi Xian there. Yi Xian was too lazy to care about them, so he took the little ones for a stroll here. It wouldn't matter if they didn't walk around, but the movement of people attracted the attention of many children from the 8 major families around them. Seeing that Yi Xian and his group were all unfamiliar faces, people were also surprised, wondering who brought these outsiders to this place. You know, even the children of the 8 major families who want to participate in the 8 Directions martial arts conference have to go through a screening process. How can an outsider come to this place casually? Who is this person? Do you know? Who brought him here? I don't know. I'm also wondering, do you know whose family this is? This is so weird. He even brought his wife and children with him. Do you think he's here for a spring outing? For a moment, everyone was puzzled and started asking each other, but no one knew the origins of Yi Xian and his companions. Just at this time, Ying Yu and Ying Xian, who had gotten rid of Yi Xian and his men, were also walking towards this side. When everyone saw the two of them, they greeted them. Hey! Ying Yu, Ying Xian, why did you come just now? Oh, there's nothing I can do. I couldn't come anyway. Ying Yu shook his head, also looking helpless. Let's not talk about this for now. Do you know who brought this person here? When asked this, everyone looked at Ying Yu and Ying Xian. Ah, of course I know. Ying Xian curled her lips, sighed slightly, and continued. Okay, this is the person my uncle brought here. He is the Dragon General of the Yanhuan Army. I heard that he has a high level of martial arts attainments. It seems that I have taught him before. After hearing the introductions of Ying Yu and Ying Xian, the young men from various families present were particularly disdainful and sneered. Ha, how can a mere person from the Yanhuan military department have the confidence to guide our 8 major families? Did your uncle meet a charlatan? Is this guy really that powerful? Anyway, I don't know what you guys think, but I think this guy doesn't look that great, with a family, and he looks like just a dad who takes his kids out to play. Although Yi Xian was brought by their winner, Ying Yu and Ying Xian were particularly disdainful of him. After hearing what everyone said, instead of defending him, they agreed with him. Ha, that's true. You didn't know this guy just now. He also said that he wanted to incorporate our 8 major families into the Yanhuan military department. Ying Yu also smiled coldly and shared what had just happened with everyone. Ha ha ha. Ying Yu. Are you serious? After hearing this, everyone couldn't hold back any longer and burst into laughter. Ingyu spread his hands, with deep disdain in his eyes, and smiled at everyone. I just heard this with my own ears. How could I lie to you? At this moment, everyone was almost laughing like crazy. This was the best joke they had ever heard. How ridiculous! I have never seen anyone who dares to say such big words. Doesn't he know what our 8 major families are? This is just a foolish dream. Only madmen and fools would have such an idea. I think this guy has it all. He is really crazy and stupid. No, Ingyu, don't blame me for saying too much, but I really don't know what your uncles are thinking. Why did they find such a guy? Yes, this small temple of our 8 great families cannot accommodate such a large Buddha. Everyone just treated these words as a joke. After all, they would never believe that there would really be someone in this world who would say such things. Anyone who has a little understanding of the 8 major families would know that such remarks are absolutely shameless and would never dare to be said. Most of the older generation like to say, there are many turtles in a shallow pond, and there are big brothers everywhere. It seems that the winner has found an ancestor. Not to mention merging their 8 major families into the Yanhuang military department. Before, when the Yanhuang military department came to find the winners to train members, they were all polite. Many people also know about this matter. Although the Yanhuang military is quite powerful, their 8 major families are not pushovers either. Chapter 226, Standing Out from the Crowd. So at the moment, everyone treated this as a joke, and the scene was filled with mocking laughter. Ing Bai, who had left Yi Xian and the others, was now rushing towards the location where Old Man Ing was. As for Yi Xian, he still felt that it would be best to make friends with him, and he should also explain everything clearly to the old man. Otherwise, it would not be okay for him to bring him here without permission and without any explanation. Soon, when Ing Bai arrived at the place, he saw the old man of the Ing family sitting with other core members of the Ing family, discussing matters concerning the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. As the winners of this grand event that takes place once every 60 years, they naturally attach great importance to it. At this time, Mr. Ing was holding a pot of tea in his hand, sitting among the crowd with dignity and majesty. Although he is old, Mr. Ing, as the head of the Ing family among the 8 major families, still gives people a domineering feeling. The old man was wearing a green robe with embroidered patterns on it. It was exquisite and restrained, giving people a low-key and mysterious feeling. His old eyes were not dim at all, but instead revealed sharpness and shrewdness. He was intimidating without even being angry, and had the power of life and death. No matter who it is, as long as they face the eyes of the winner, they will not feel comfortable. Such deep and sharp eyes seem to see through everything about you. Every gesture and movement flashes with the aura of a person holding great power. When one reaches a position like Mr. Winner, some things will come out naturally without any effort, making people feel his arrogant and domineering temperament. There were other old men sitting around, and of course some of them had not arrived yet. Seeing that many important people had gathered here, Ing Bai took a deep breath, walked up to Old Man Ing, and bowed respectfully. Old man. Coming? Upon hearing this, Mr. Ing glanced at Ing Bai casually and agreed in a calm tone. Yes, old man. We just arrived. I have something to report to you this time. This time at the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference, I want to introduce you to a person, a dragon general from the Yanhuang military. He is very powerful and is no less powerful than the children of the 8 major families. What do you think? The old man's eyes flashed, he glanced at Ing Bai, snorted lightly, and said with some dissatisfaction. Nonsense, this is the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference, why are you bringing outsiders here? Ingbi, you are not considered young anymore. I thought you were very stable. I don't need to tell you this rule. Seeing the old man's expression, Ingbi had no choice but to lower his head and spoke softly. Old man, I know the rules, but General Yilong is truly a talent, otherwise I wouldn't have brought him here to introduce to you. Old Master Ing looked at Ing Bai and sighed slightly. Tell him to wait for me. Let's talk about it after the 8 Directions discussion meeting is over. But old man. Okay, that's it, you go down first. Ing Bai wanted to say something, but Old Man Ing waved his hand and told him to go down. Yes. Although Ingbi was helpless, he had to agree, then bowed and left. Mr. Ing, isn't this a good thing? The young people in your family are really caring about the family. Another old man sitting nearby took a sip of tea and looked at Grandpa Ing with a smile. Alas, the most important thing now is the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. I think everyone knows how important this martial arts conference is. After hearing what Mr. Ing said, the others nodded repeatedly, and their eyes became much more solemn. Has the Azure Dragon flag been found now? The old man of the Yao family looked at the heads of the families around him and asked about the Azure Dragon flag. Speaking of this, the eyes of the family heads present dimmed, and they shook their heads with a bitter smile. Everyone was thinking in their hearts that the Azure Dragon flag was a token of trust that was customized by the 8 major families at the same time. As long as they held the Azure Dragon flag, they could give orders to the 8 major families. Of course, this flag does not just command the 8 major families, it is also the representative of China. Together with the other 7 flags in the world, it is called the 8 banners. Thinking of this, everyone inevitably recalled the time when the flag master was still there. He held the green dragon flag and commanded the support of hundreds of people, leading China to an extremely prosperous path. Those villains stayed away from him and no one dared to offend him. But after that accident that resulted in the loss of the Azure Dragon flag, the major Chinese families fell into a situation of being leaderless, with all kinds of disputes, both large and small, continuing, and rifts between families. Because of the loss of the flag, China fell into a state of weakness for a long period of time, which led to such humiliation later. We have been searching for the Azure Dragon flag for 100 years, but there is still no news. It seems that it is time for us to elect the candidate for this Dao discussion conference. Old Master Ing narrowed his eyes and looked at the several family heads beside him. When the others heard this, they sat up straight instantly, their eyes narrowed slightly, and they looked seriously at Mr. Ing who was speaking. Wait, this is no small matter. How are we going to elect someone? What else can we do? We can only rely on our strength. Mr. Ing smiled bitterly and then continued. The purpose of every discussion meeting is to rely on strength to solve all problems. This time is no exception. After all, no matter how the world changes, this discussion platform is here and has never changed. But this time, if everyone agrees to rely on this nomination, the weight of this discussion will be much greater. But this is not a bad thing for our 8 major families. What do you think? After listening to what Grandpa Ing said, several family heads hesitated for a while and nodded slightly. The green dragon flag has not been found yet, so just leaving it there is also a problem. It would be a good thing for the 8 major families to elect someone who has the final say through this discussion. But for some reason, although everyone knows in their hearts that this is not a bad thing, they also understand that this time each family will try their best to compete for it. Ahem. Is there anyone else who hasn't arrived yet? The old man of the Yao family cleared his throat, looked at everyone and asked a question. The old man from the Ji family hasn't arrived yet, but by this time, he should be here soon. Several family heads looked at each other. 7 of the 8 family heads had arrived. Now only the old man of the Ji family had not arrived yet. At the same time, while several family heads were talking, on the other side of the 8 Directions Forum, the eldest young master of the Ji family was standing in front of a well-dressed and domineering old man, reporting what he had just seen. P.S. Dear friends, my new book has been uploaded. Use 3 sentences to make the cool school girl become my girlfriend. Introduction: super rich plus single female lead plus super sweet at night, so he must stay in the school beauty's room for 5 minutes in order to complete the system task. He came up with a plan and walked in with a greeting card with 3 sentences on it. School bell, you. Soo-hee, let me tell you. Then Soo-hee closed the door with his backhand. The next day, when Soo-hee was hiding from the rain in the teaching building, the school beauty came with an umbrella. Facing everyone's eager questions, the cold school beauty looked at Soo-hee and smiled, I'm here to pick up my boyfriend. 1 sentence, let everyone explode on the spot. 10 months later, the school beauty looked at the babies and glanced at Soo-hee, I lost, you seduced me with just 3 sentences. If you are interested, you can go and have a look. I will add more updates if you urge me for more updates or give me 5-star reviews. Thank you. Chapter 227 Solve Some Things. Grandpa, I'm sorry, I haven't told you this yet. The 3rd brother was killed. The eldest young master of the Ji family twitched his lips slightly as he explained the whole story word by word. We know who did this. This person's bounty on the international wanted list is very high. He also caused quite a stir abroad some time ago. The old man of the Ji family looked solemnly at the eldest young master of the Ji family in front of him, the corners of his mouth trembling slightly, and a faint flame was burning in his eyes. What about the 2nd brother? Why hasn't he come yet? Holding back the anger in his heart, the old man of the Ji family asked, almost gritting his teeth. The anger in his tone made the other Ji family members around him feel as if their throats were being strangled, and it became difficult for them to breathe. Old man, the 2nd brother, he took people to seek revenge without telling us a few days ago, and he hasn't come back yet. The eldest son of the Ji family swallowed his saliva, knowing in his heart that the second son was probably in danger, and there was a high probability that he had followed in the footsteps of the third son. Thinking of this, he felt even more sad, but now he could only hold it back and told everything he knew. We also sent people to look for him, but there was no news about the second brother. However, just now, our people found the figure of the man who killed the third brother here. Master, I have asked someone to keep an eye on this guy. Do you think we should send someone over? Ji Woo, the old man of the Ji family, is now completely furious. His white beard is trembling violently, and the muscles on his face are constantly spasming. He starts to look a little hideous. Don't worry, our Ji family will definitely avenge this. I want to see who this guy is and how dare he go against our Ji family like this. After shouting angrily, Ji Woo waved his sleeves and walked towards the jade platform, step by step onto the platform. For a moment, the young men from various families in the surrounding stands noticed Ji Woo walking up to the jade stage. They all put down what they were doing, and all their attention was focused on Ji Woo. Isn't this Ji Woo, the old man of the Ji family? Is the Dao discussion conference about to officially begin? Well, it looks like it's almost certain. Now everyone has arrived. Hiss. Why does Mr. Ji Woo's expression look so good to me? Shut up. Stop talking nonsense and just stay in the stands. When they saw Ji Woo going up, the crowd started talking, but when they saw Ji Woo was about to speak, they instantly quieted down. Dear descendants of the 8 great families, welcome to the 8 Directions discussion meeting. Ji Woo paused, then walked to the center of the stage, glanced at the people from various families on the platform, and then began to speak in a serious tone. Although Ji Woo is old, his voice is very loud at this moment, almost penetrating the entire forum. Many of the young and even older people present here may be attending this 8 Directions forum for the first time. Of course, this is not surprising. This 8 Directions discussion meeting is held once every 60 years. It has a deep meaning for our 8 major families. The time has come. On behalf of all the 8 major families, I declare that the 8 Directions discussion meeting has officially begun. At this moment, the scene was filled with thunderous applause, and the faces of the disciples from various families were filled with excitement. After all, this 8 Directions discussion meeting was not something that could be seen at any time. Now, feeling the atmosphere on the scene, most of them are also infected, with blood surging in their chests, and they seem to be ready to go on stage and show off their boxing skills. When the little guys saw Ji Woo walk onto the stage, they listened attentively, but they couldn't understand a word. After the applause and cheers from the crowd ended, Ji Woo coughed lightly and continued speaking. Ahem, this time, in addition to competing in strength and solving some problems to maintain the prosperity of the 8 major families, there is also an extremely important thing that I must tell everyone. After hearing this, everyone's attention was focused on Ji Woo, wondering what was going on. Perhaps many of the younger generation present here may not know this, but I can tell you that we have never given up searching for the Azure Dragon flag since it was lost 100 years ago. However, even now, there is still no news. So, after discussing with several of us, the heads of the families have unanimously decided to elect someone who can take charge and speak for the family at this 8 Directions forum to be the new leader of the Azure Dragon flag. Boom! Suddenly, this news was like a bomb, completely shocking the entire scene, and the expressions on everyone's faces froze. This is equivalent to giving everyone a wake-up call for no reason. This is not a trivial matter. Of course they knew the importance of the Azure Dragon flag. It was the supreme power that could command the 8 major families. Not to mention, the Blue Dragon flag has great weight in the world. Every flag owner of the Blue Dragon flag is a person of great accomplishment. They are either born generals or wise men of unparalleled literary talent. We actually have to elect a flag master this time. Oh my god. The last flag master was 100 years ago. Yeah. I really didn't expect that, but it doesn't seem like it's such a bad thing. But what will this election rely on? Strength or something else? At this time, everyone on the platform was in an uproar, with shock written all over their faces, and even more so, suspicion. Everyone, please be quiet. I know this may be difficult for you to accept in the short term, but this is also an urgent matter. Ji Woo looked up at the platform seriously and continued. Our 8 major families now need such a person to lead us to continued prosperity. This position is quite important. I know that everyone is also wondering what we should rely on to elect the flag owner this time. Now let me tell you, what we have been discussing is that this time the flag owner will be elected based on hard power. Ji Woo clenched his fists and spoke passionately. Without absolute strength, it is not enough to convince the public, so this time, our new flag master will be elected from the Eight Directions Martial Arts Conference. However, when he got to this point, Ji Woo suddenly changed the subject, his eyes suddenly became fierce, and he spoke with gritted teeth. But before that, I still have to deal with some things. Chapter 228. How much more? Everyone on the platform was in shock and excitement about the selection of the flag owner. When they heard Ji Woo's words, they all frowned, feeling that something was going to happen. At this moment, Ji Woo on the jade platform was so furious that his hair stood on end. His face suddenly turned dark and he looked as terrifying as a volcano that was about to erupt. As Ji Woo's eyes, which seemed to be piercing the flesh and peeling off the skin, scanned every direction, the people present also felt a chill, wondering what on earth was going on. I don't hesitate to tell you that my third grandson was killed, and my second grandson went away to seek revenge and never came back. I'm afraid he's in danger now. And this murderer is so bold that after committing such an atrocity, he did not choose to flee, but even dared to show up at the Eight Directions discussion meeting. Today I have to resolve this matter to comfort my grandson's soul in heaven. In an instant, Ji Woo's angry voice resounded throughout the entire place. Everyone present was stunned, and the originally noisy scene suddenly became silent. At this moment, only the occasional chirping of wild birds in the mountains and Ji Woo's indignant voice echoed. Everyone was shocked beyond words and looked at each other. For a moment they couldn't believe that this was true. Even now, there are still people who dare to attack people from the 8 major families, and that person is the grandson of the old man from the Ji family. How courageous is this person? Not only did he do such a thing, but he even had the guts to come to the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference. Isn't this a naked mockery of the 8 major families? How dare you? How audacious! Who on earth is this villain who dares to go against my 8 great families like this? Unbelievable, who on earth is this person? I can't believe it, this person is so bold. How dare you come to the scene? Don't you take our 8 major families seriously? Blood debt must be repaid with blood, this guy must pay the price today. After a brief silence, the scene suddenly exploded. Everyone's face looked unhappy, and they all shared a common hatred for the enemy. They were also horrified. They could not imagine that there would be such a person. They were even more surprised that this guy actually came to the scene. It's true that there is a door to heaven but you don't go in, and there is no door to hell but you have to break in. At this moment, the entire Tianqing mountain is filled with people from the 8 major families. Does this guy really think he can escape? However, just as everyone was surprised, a man from the Ji family, with his eyes wide open, strode onto the jade platform. No matter who you are, get out here, I can make you die with dignity. The muscles of the man from the Ji family exploded all over his body, like a King Kong, and his roar with strong murderous aura suddenly resounded through the sky. When the others saw this scene, they all gasped and stared at the man on the stage with an incredulous look in their eyes. This is actually Ji Zhan from the Ji family. He is a truly powerful man. I heard that he has a force of several thousand kilograms. That's not right. If there's no one from the 8 major families leading the way, outsiders can't get up here. Which family is this person from? How could he be so ruthless? I don't know. But now it's good. Looking at the Ji family, they are planning to play for real. However, Ji Zhan on the stage was still roaring at this moment, his voice was like rolling thunder, filled with tremendous rage. I know you are here right now. If you want to humiliate our Ji family like this, don't blame me for being ruthless. If you are a real man, then come out with dignity. Although I really want to crush your bones inch by inch and make you feel the pain of being cut into pieces, if you come out by yourself, I can try to leave you an intact body. Come out. I don't care who you came from, get out of here now. Facing Ji Zhan standing alone on the stage, looking like the devil had descended, the people who were surprised just now were now even more frightened. It seems that the Ji family is really angry this time. Fuck. It looks like the Ji family is really pissed off. Nonsense. He killed 2 grandsons of Mr. Ji. No matter who this guy is, he will not be able to leave Tianqing Mountain today. I think this time, no matter who did it, this guy is in trouble. While people were talking, Ying Bai returned to Yixian, and Ying Yu, Ying Xian and others also came back. Seeing this scene, several people's faces turned dark. Who on earth did this? How dare they do this? Ying Bai immediately yelled angrily, feeling very angry. Not only did he kill someone, but he even dared to come back. Listening to Ji Zhan's roar on the stage, Longshire said nothing and was ready to go up. Etc. Yi Xian stopped him, looked into Longshi's eyes, and a playful smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Don't hold back. I want to test these 8 families and see how much strength they have left at this point in time. Although Yi Xian and Longshi's movements were not big, at this moment, they were like a spotlight, attracting everyone's attention. The moment they saw the 2 people walking towards the stands, all the people from the major families on the platform were stunned. Especially Ying Bai and others on the side, they all stared at Yi Xian with wide eyes, their pupils trembling slightly, flashing with disbelief and horror. General Yi Long, what are you doing? I didn't even call you. Don't talk nonsense. When Ying Bai saw this, he felt numb from head to toe. He quickly stepped forward and grabbed Yi Xian, speaking anxiously. General Yi Long, you must watch carefully. You must not act recklessly in this situation. How could you be the thief? We know what kind of person you are. This is not about you. You must have understood wrongly. This is not a contest that needs to end at the last minute. Perhaps because everyone around him had fallen into silence, Ying Bai's voice at this moment was particularly loud. Suddenly, almost everyone in the stands looked over here, and Ying Bai was completely anxious. What was going on? I just wanted to bring Yi Xian here to introduce him to someone. Why did so many things go wrong? Isn't this the person brought by the winner? Could it be that he is the one that Mr. G is talking about? No way, the winner actually brought this person to the 8 Directions Forum. Is this intentional to make things difficult for the G family? It looks like there's going to be something interesting to watch. Now it's time for the winner to give an explanation. The young men from each family were looking at Yi Xian and Longshi with unfriendly eyes at this time. Ji Wu, who was standing aside, had a gloomy look in his eyes and said nothing. Chapter 229, Barrier. Ying Bai was completely panicked, especially feeling the gazes of Ji Wu and Ji Zhan on the jade platform. He couldn't help shaking all over. There was no time to lose. Ying Bai could only stop Yi Xian and say some nice things to him, hoping that nothing would happen. Ying Yu and Ying Xian were also confused, thinking that in such an occasion, Yi Xian actually dared to do such a thing. What kind of ancestor did their uncle Ying Bai find? At this tense moment, 2 people from the Ji family were killed, and they were the grandsons of Mr. Ji. At this point, people are already so angry. If you jump out now, aren't you simply seeking death? The 2 of them felt uneasy and contemptuous at the same time. Now that everyone's attention was attracted, even if this person was not Yi Xian, he probably wouldn't make things easy for them. At that moment, Ying Yu and Ying Xian didn't want to stay here anymore. They were also afraid that they would become the target of public criticism if they followed Yi Xian, so it was better for them to run away quickly. However, just as the 2 were about to leave, Ying Bai finally reacted, and quickly looked towards Gao Tai and the Ji family, explaining with an apologetic look on his face. I'm sorry everyone, my friend didn't hear clearly what happened just now. I hope you won't blame me. After all, this is his first time here, so he may not understand some of the rules. I don't mean to offend you, so I hope you can forgive me. I can guarantee this. I know this friend well. It is definitely not that. But before Ying Bai could finish his words, he saw Yi Xian walking slowly forward with an expressionless face. This time, it was like a shocking thunder exploding on the spot, and everyone was stunned. The young men from various families on the platform were completely dumbfounded, and they exclaimed, "Is this man crazy? How dare he go up there? What's going on? People have said good things for him, why doesn't he appreciate it at all? That's right. What time is it now? How dare he go up there? Aren't you afraid that Ji Zhanqing up there will tear him apart? Who is this person? Where did the Ji family find such a weird guy?" As people's discussions almost exploded, Ying Bai's head was buzzing. He couldn't believe what he saw. General Yi Long, what are you doing? Don't go any further. This is not a fighting arena. This is someone else's private matter. It has nothing to do with us. He hurriedly took a few steps forward, stood in front of Yi Xian, and advised Yi Xian earnestly, secretly feeling bitter in his heart. Wasn't everything fine? How did this happen all of a sudden? What on earth is going on? But even though Ying Bai said all the nice things, Yi Xian seemed as if he didn't hear anything and continued to walk towards the jade platform step by step. Ying Bai was so anxious that he was about to cry, but he couldn't explain himself now. If he wanted to stop him, he was no match for Yi Xian. At this moment, everyone's eyes were all focused on Yi Xian. Some were shocked, some were angry, and some were waiting to see the show, fearing that the world would not be in chaos. The atmosphere suddenly dropped to freezing point. Wang Xinyao frowned, secretly worried in her heart, but she had a strange thought that these people could not pose a threat to Yi Xian. Long Shi's eyes turned cold as he looked around. Almost everyone who looked into his eyes was frightened by his soul-stirring aura. Faced with Long Shi's cold and murderous eyes, the young men from various families couldn't help but swallow their saliva. They felt as if they were falling into an ice cave, with a boundless chill spreading from their spine to their entire body. No wonder, Ryuya is a real ace killer. Every part of his body can be used as a weapon, even his eyes. Many people immediately turned their gazes away, not daring to look into Long Shi's eyes, and their bodies were even shaking slightly. This also surprised them, because they were the descendants of the 8 major families, representing the most prosperous families in China, and a force with terrifying background. But today, everyone was frightened by Long Yi's eyes, which really surprised everyone. At this critical moment, Old Man Ing, who had learned the news, hurried over. After seeing this scene, he realized that this man was the dragon general that Ing Bai had told him about. Ingbi, what are you still doing? Pull him back quickly. Faced with this critical situation, the old man of the Ying family's eyes turned red. He shouted in a low voice and asked Ing Bai to pull Yi Xian back. Hearing this, Ing Bai gritted his teeth, stepped forward and grabbed Yi Xian, whispering, "General Yi Long, if you have anything to say, please come with me first. Over there is my old man. Please come with me to meet him first." Seeing this, Ji Wu walked over slowly, grinned, and spoke in a leisurely manner. "What's going on? It seems that you, the winner, really want to protect the person who killed my grandson?" As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was stunned and looked at Yi Xian in unison. Old Master Ji Wu has just said that he knows who this person is, and now he says this again. Could it be that the murderer is really Yi Xian? It's actually this person. It's probably true. Since Master Ji said so, it must be this person. Hiss. So, does that mean the winner is standing against the Ji family? The young men from various families on the platform were also surprised. One reason was that this person was really brought by the winner. As for the second point, Yi Xian knew that there would be no good outcome if he came here, but he still dared to go up. Wasn't he doing this on purpose? Did this person really not take the Ji family seriously? Not to mention that he dared to come to the 8 Directions discussion meeting, he even went to the Jade platform. Who is on the Jade platform? It's Ji Zhan, the top master of the younger generation of Ji family. Even among the 8 major families, he is considered to be the best. When Ing Bai heard Ji Wu's words, the hand that was holding Yi Xian suddenly softened. He stared at Yi Xian in disbelief, and his brain went blank. He could never have imagined that the person that the old man of the Ji family was talking about was actually Yi Xian. In his eyes, Yi Xian is a dragon general who holds great power. No matter what, he would not do such a thing. General Yi Long, is this true? Ing Bai seemed to have lost his soul at this moment. He looked at Yi Xian and asked the last question tremblingly. However, Yi Xian neither nodded nor shook his head, but walked straight to the Jade platform and stood there with his posture straight. Ing Bai muttered, wanting to say something, but he felt as if his throat was blocked and he couldn't utter a word. The old man at the side also frowned when he saw this. Although he was not so panicked, even if it was just a misunderstanding, it would more or less create some estrangement between him and the Ji family. Chapter 230 Lessons. Ji Wu on the stage looked at Long Shi, then at Yi Xian, and smiled coldly. Ha ha. Since you guys want to come up and die, I'm a magnanimous person, so I'll grant your wish. As he spoke, Ji Wu glanced at Ji Zhan standing beside him. Ji Zhan had a sneer on his face and a fierce look in his eyes, ready to attack at any time. That's good now. The Ji family is going to get serious. These two are finished. I think it's all your own fault. You killed Mr. Ji's grandson. You can't get away even if you run to the ends of the earth. Now that this guy can stand up on his own, he is sensible. At least he died with dignity. Ha ha. What a joke. This guy killed 2 grandsons of the old man of the Ji family. Do you think the Ji family will let him die so easily? This is too naive. The people on the platform were not optimistic about Yi Xian and Long Shi at this time, thinking that they were just seeking death. Moreover, it has come to this point, and he is still so arrogant even after killing someone. This is simply a slap in the face of the Ji family. Even if he wants to die, he will not die so easily. But at this time, no one thought about the possibility that Yi Xian could defeat the Ji family. Not to mention that he would be facing Ji Zhan, there were many masters of the Ji family on the scene. No matter how powerful he was, he could not escape today. Oh, really? Then I'm very interested. Yi Xian smiled calmly upon hearing this and looked at Ji Wu beside him with amusement. Humph. Let's see how long you can be so arrogant, Ji Zhan. When Ji Wu saw Yi Xian's expression and the hint of mockery in his words, he snorted coldly and growled at Ji Zhan, who was standing beside him. Yes. Ji Zhan walked over coldly, looked at Yi Xian in the audience with disdain, and let out a roar. Thief, if you have the guts, come up and talk to me. Let's see what you rely on to be so arrogant. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and just stepped on the ground. His body flew lightly into the air and stood on the jade platform easily. However, at this moment, Yi Xian's entire aura changed drastically. A murderous aura suddenly spread out, and he stared coldly at Ji Zhan in front of him. Bang! 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 In an instant, Ji Zhan only felt his heart beating rapidly, and cold sweat suddenly broke out on his back. He didn't even dare to look Yi Xian in the eye. When they looked at each other just now, he felt as if he was being locked by a falcon soaring in the sky. It seemed as if he had nowhere to hide and his neck might be cut off by the sharp claws at any time. Yi Xian's eyes were like the sharpest thorns, piercing his heart in an instant. Immediately afterwards, there came a strong sense of oppression, as if a huge mountain was pressing down on his head. Ha ha! I never thought that the Ji family's children would be so destitute and ruined that they didn't even have the courage to face me before they died. However, just as the atmosphere was gradually cooling down to freezing point, Yi Xian suddenly burst into laughter, glanced at the children of various families on the platform, and said contemptuously, "It seems that these 8 major families really need to be reorganized now." Suddenly, Yi Xian's words have completely angered the 8 major families. Who do you think you are? You are about to die and you still dare to talk nonsense here. I will stand here today and watch how you die. Suddenly, the young men from various families on the high platform were like quicklime thrown into boiling water. Everyone was so angry that they pointed at Yi Xian and started cursing. That's right. What right do you have to point fingers at our 8 major families? Do you really think that you are a big shot just because you killed 2 people? You dare to be so arrogant before you die. You are the best. You don't know your own limitations. Do you think that all of our 8 families are vegetarians? In an instant, everyone was condemning Yi Xian. What Yi Xian said just now had deeply offended their pride as children of the 8 major families. But the next second, Yi Xian's eyes, which seemed sharper than the god of death's scythe, suddenly stared at the platform. For a moment, everyone waited until the sound stopped abruptly, and their faces became extremely ugly. That look just now, facing them directly, made each of them feel a chill down their spine, as if their throat was strangled, and they stopped speaking halfway. Ha ha! It seems that the 8 major families now can only use words to protect their own shameless pride? Yi Xian sneered again and turned to look at Ji Zhan in front of him. I think you are the one who only relies on your tongue. I want to see how capable you are. Ji Zhan is really angry now. Looking at Yi Xian's arrogant look just now, the anger in his eyes is getting more and more intense, his eyes are full of bloodshot, and the muscles on his body are bulging with blue veins. You have 2 lives of my Ji family in your hands. Today I will take them back and show you, an arrogant villain, the price of provoking my Ji family. Don't worry, I will definitely be gentle. I won't let you die so easily. I will let you slowly leave this world in deep pain and fear of being unable to live or die. Ji Zhan was now completely furious. The humiliation he had suffered for not daring to look Yi Xian in the eye had turned into a powerful force of anger. He roared and rushed towards Yi Xian. It felt as if the entire jade platform was shaking slightly. The moment Ji Zhan took action, everyone's heart tightened and they stared at every move on the field. Ji Zhan, teach him a lesson and let him know the consequences of speaking nonsense. Don't let him die too easily. Tear this arrogant guy to pieces. Humph. Let him know what the strength of the 8 major families really is. The people on the platform also clenched their fists and kept shouting, looking forward to seeing the scene of Ji Zhan tearing Yi Xian into pieces. However, it must be said that Ji Zhan, as a master among the younger generation, could punch with great force and at a very fast speed. At this moment, he was like a locomotive fully charged towards Yi Xian. The people near the jade platform also felt this heart-pounding power and thought that Yi Xian would not be able to withstand it. Just when Ji Zhan's heavy punch was about to hit Yi Xian's forehead, Yi Xian suddenly exerted force at an incredibly fast speed, causing Ji Zhan's attack to miss. Too slow. Yi Xian chuckled and looked at Ji Zhan with a playful look, who was completely angry and about to go crazy. Humph. Take another one from me. Ji Zhan became even more annoyed when he heard this. Although his first attack failed, he quickly launched a second attack. Chapter 231 5-Star Dragon General. This time, Ji Zhan increased his speed again, clenched his fists, and used Ji family's unique techniques against Yi Xian. Every move was fatal and every style attacked his heart. Ji Zhan's attack was like a violent storm, pouring down on Yi Xian one after another. But the strange thing was that Yi Xian dodged easily every time, his face always remained calm, and he didn't even take a breath. On the other hand, Ji Zhan became more and more crazy because of his attacks that failed one after another. He did not control his breathing and his nostrils let out heavy breaths from time to time. The young men from various families on the platform were all dumbfounded at this moment. They all knew how terrifying Ji Zhan's attack was. No one present dared to say that they could dodge it every time. Although Ji Zhan, who is extremely powerful, does have a weakness in speed, his ghostly boxing skills are difficult to understand. No one knows how Yi Xian avoided it. They actually dodged all of them. This is unscientific. Yeah, and why doesn't this guy have any intention of attacking it? It's so terrifying. Such sharp movements and speed are simply amazing. Everyone was also extremely surprised. They never expected that Yi Xian had such strength. Even though Ji Zhan was very powerful, he had no way to deal with him at this moment. Who? Ji Zhan gradually realized this at this time, stopped his attack, looked at Yi Xian in front of him with red eyes, and gasped for breath. But then, Yi Xian, who had been on the defense, suddenly moved, and the wind from his fist cut through the air, making a cutting and blasting sound, and slammed heavily towards Ji Zhan. Ji Zhan gritted his teeth, a sneer appeared in the corner of his eyes, and he also swung his fist. Ji Zhan had full confidence in his own strength from beginning to end. When he saw Yi Xian taking the initiative to attack him, a burst of mockery followed in his heart. Comparing strength, you. However, at the moment when their fists collided, Ji Zhan swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. He only felt an extremely powerful force spreading from his fist to his entire arm, and then to his whole body. The next second, Ji Zhan's face became extremely distorted because of pain. He felt as if his entire arm was broken and he could no longer lift it. But Yi Xian's attack did not end there, and another heavy punch hit Ji Zhan's abdomen. Under the stunned gazes of the crowd, Ji Zhan's abdomen sank, his throat suddenly felt sweet, and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Finally, Yi Xian grabbed Ji Zhan's neck and lifted him up like a chicken. Everything happened so fast that no one had time to see clearly, and the battle was already a foregone conclusion. Everyone was silent, and it seemed that even a pin drop could be heard clearly. Crush. This was a complete crush. Yi Xian's strength was like a dimensionality reduction attack. Ji Zhan had no power to fight back at all. Crack. As Yi Xian exerted force with his hands, Ji Zhan, whose vision was already blurry, suddenly widened his eyes and stuck out his tongue. Before he could even scream, he rolled his eyes and his neck was broken by Yi Xian. Boom. This scene was vividly reflected in everyone's eyes. Everyone took a deep breath, and a sense of fear suddenly arose. Faced with such a powerful existence, everyone from the 8 major families fell silent. Everyone in the Ji family was so angry at this moment that their eyes were bloodshot. They felt as if their breathing had frozen, and there was a rumbling sound in their heads. Ji Wu was so angry that he almost passed out. His vision started to become blurry and he almost collapsed to the ground. Is this still a human? Ji Zhan has no power to resist at all. Oh my god. Who on earth did the Ji family offend? Too strong. This is a complete crush. There's no chance for him to catch his breath. The hearts of the people on the platform seemed to be stirred by thousands of huge waves. Even someone as powerful as Ji Zhan was completely powerless to fight back against Yi Xian. As everyone was in shock, Yi Xian pinched Ji Zhan's hand and casually flicked it away. Ji Zhan's cold body flew several meters away and fell heavily on the jade platform. Everyone's heart seemed to be hit by a heavy hammer, and they stared at Yi Xian, who walked to the center of the jade platform. I came here today not for anything else but to announce something. From now on, all the members of the 8 families will be incorporated into the Chinese Yanhuang military department. Remember, I'm not here to discuss with you, but to inform you. Yi Xian never stops talking until he shocks people. His words were like a stone that caused 1,000 ripples. All the people from the 8 major families were stunned. Yi Xian's words just now kept echoing in their minds, and the expressions on their faces gradually changed from shock to anger. What? This is a joke. Do you know what you are talking about? What a joke! Do you have the guts to say something like that? Crazy. Really crazy. Do you really think you are invincible and can command the 8 major families? Those people who were shocked by Yi Xian's strength just now turned into anger at this moment. They looked at Yi Xian with unfriendly tone and gnashed their teeth in anger. At this point, the heads of the 8 major families nearby could no longer sit still, their hands and feet were shaking with anger. Ha ha! How big of a figure do you think you are? Do you think that just because you killed Ji Zhan, you have the qualifications to challenge us? One of the family heads couldn't bear it any longer, he slammed the table, stood up, pointed at Yi Xian and cursed. The old man of the Ji family, Ji Zhan, was so angry that his face turned red, and he stared at Yi Xian with his eyes wide open. Humph! No matter who you are, you will not be able to leave Tianqing Mountain today. You have been provoking my Ji family one after another. You must die today. Even the gods and the gods cannot save you. Seeing all that was happening, old man Ingjie remained silent. He felt that something was wrong. He looked at Ingbi beside him and asked in confusion. Ingbi, what is the identity of this person you brought with you? Isn't he just a dragon general? Ingbi was also stunned for a while, but when he heard the old man's question, he came to his senses, took a few deep breaths, and then spoke to Mr. Ing. Old man, General Yilong holds the highest rank in the entire Yanhuang military, and is the only 5-star dragon general. 5-star dragon general. Hearing this, Mr. Ing fell silent and nodded woodenly. The other old men's pupils shrank upon hearing this, and they looked at Yi Xian in disbelief. At such a young age, he was actually a 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuang army. Chapter 232 Flagmaster. Ha ha! The 5-star dragon general is like this again. My 8 great families have been aloof from the world for hundreds of years. You are so arrogant. Such a statement is an insult to my 8 families. Although everyone was surprised to learn of Yi Xian's identity, things had already developed to this point and the old men could no longer tolerate it, and they immediately launched a barrage of criticism. No matter who you are, since you have done these things today, you must pay the price for the consequences of these things. Yes. We will let you know what the consequences of angering the 8 major families are. Do you really think that you can command the 8 major families just because you have a Yanhuang military department under you? Moreover, as an outsider from the 8 great families, you came to disrupt the 8 great families' 8 directions discussion meeting today. Your intention. You deserve to be killed. Following the indignant words of several old men, several people around them stood up immediately and looked at Yi Xian coldly. Many experts are also gearing up and are ready to take action. Although they had just seen Yi Xian's strength, they knew that no one could be his opponent in a one-on-one fight. But their 8 major families have never become powerful because of one person, and today, the scene of the 8 Directions Martial Arts Conference includes people from more than just one family. Long Shi and his group felt countless pairs of unfriendly eyes, and they looked around with cold eyes emitting icy light. For a moment, the whole scene was tense, and it seemed that a fierce battle was about to break out. Let's see who dares. However, at this moment, an angry shout was heard and everyone was attracted over. At this time, Tang Hao was seen holding a rolled-up flag in his hand and striding towards Yute. Everyone was shocked, their pupils fixed on the flag in Tang Hao's hand, and they immediately had a bad premonition. The faces of several old men also changed, and they all stood up. Their old eyes trembled slightly, revealing an incredible light. This flag, could it be? When they saw this flag, several old men thought secretly in their hearts that they felt their hearts were hanging in the air. Hey! Isn't this the flag that's on the pole at home? Several little girls looked at the flag in Tang Hao's hand and recognized it immediately. They had all seen this flag at home, but they didn't know how Tang Hao brought it here. Just as everyone was silent and surprised, Tang Hao walked solemnly to Yi Xian, stretched out his hands, and handed the flag in his hands to Yi Xian. Yi Xian took it gently, stroked the rolled-up flag, and then unfolded the rolled-up flag under the people's fixed gaze. In an instant, a mighty and domineering green dragon with sword-like eyes and star-like eyebrows appeared in front of everyone. There is a sharp blade in the Qinglong's claws, and 8 ancient Chinese characters are carved on the sword, which correspond to the 8 major families today. Everyone stared at the flag and their hearts skipped a beat. This was none other than the Azure Dragon flag that had been lost for hundreds of years by their 8 major families. This is actually real, it's really the Azure Dragon flag. Oh my god, this guy actually has the Azure Dragon flag in his hand. Doesn't that mean he can really command our 8 major families? Everyone on the platform felt a dull pain in their heart and an indescribable complexity in their mind. It felt as if their brain was emptied and turned into a blank. Who could have imagined that the Azure Dragon flag, which was powerful enough to command the 8 major families, was actually in Yi Xian's hands? This was something they could not imagine no matter how hard they tried. The faces of several old men turned pale. The green dragon flag that had been lost for 100 years actually reappeared in front of them, and in the hands of a young man. Compared to others, Ji Wu's reaction was stronger. He collapsed directly to the ground, looking at Ji Zhan's body which had turned cold beside him. His eyes began to become dull and lifeless. Now, let alone avenging his grandson and Ji Zhan, the other party is the flag bearer holding the Azure Dragon flag and can directly give orders to their Ji family. Just when everyone was shocked, Yi Xian stopped talking, but silently nailed the green dragon flag on the jade platform for discussions, and looked around the platform with disdainful eyes. Old man Ying looked over here, his surprise difficult to calm down, and looked at Ying Bai beside him. But Ying Bai just stood there stupidly. He just wanted to introduce Yi Xian to the old man, but he didn't expect such a series of events to happen. Ahem. With a light cough, the old man Ying's expression became respectful. He walked under the jade platform and bowed to Yi Xian. Welcome to the Flag Master. The other old men also reacted at this time, and hurriedly walked towards the winner, gently bent down, and bowed respectfully. 8 major families. Welcome back the Flag Master. For a moment, with the actions of several old men, the scene became solemn, and the people on the high platforms also bowed their heads. In an instant, everyone bowed their heads respectfully to Yi Xian. As beads of sweat slowly flowed from his cheeks to his entire body, Ji Wu closed his eyes and lowered his head helplessly. No one could have imagined that Yi Xian, a person outside the 8 major families, actually had the green dragon flag in his hand that had been lost for who knows how long. According to the rules passed down from generation to generation, everyone from the 8 major families must obey unconditionally whoever holds the green dragon flag. At this moment, people had no choice but to follow their ancestors' teachings, put away all their emotions, and obeyed Yi Xian's orders. Welcome to the Flag Master. Although the little ones didn't understand what it meant, they pouted their lips and said something in a baby voice and thought it was quite fun. Wang Xinyou was particularly shocked. It was hard to believe that her husband could easily command the 8 families with just a flag. He saw everything that happened just now clearly. Almost everyone pointed the finger at Yi Xian, and some were even about to take action. However, as soon as this flag came out, all the people from the 8 major families suddenly became as respectful as withered morning glories. The contrast was too great. Wang Xinyou's eyes trembled and she was still a little dazed. After all, this was really weird to her. Long Ya and others were also stunned. Brother Yi was actually the leader of the Chinese Blue Dragon flag. They naturally knew that every leader of the Blue Dragon flag in China was a man of great influence, and all of them were influential figures of the time. Everyone couldn't help but feel like they were in a dream, but looking at the Blue Dragon flag fluttering in the wind, it seemed so real. Chapter 233, so impressive. At this moment, everyone bowed their heads in submission, but Yi Xian stood on the jade platform, looking around, so majestic. Looking around, Yi Xian had a serious expression. He held up the green dragon flag in one hand and spoke word by word. From now on, the 8 major families will be officially incorporated into the Yanhuang military department. Yes. All the people from the 8 major families agreed in unison, and naturally no one had any objections. Although some people were not very satisfied, after seeing Yi Xian strengthen the green dragon flag, they shattered these thoughts and swallowed them. After all, he is the flag bearer holding the Azure Dragon flag and a 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuang army. His strength and status are extraordinary. Now with the Blue Dragon flag, it is even more of a concept. Everyone could only remain silent. If anyone dared to stand up and say no at this time, it would go against the rules established by their ancestors. The longer the family's history, the more important these rules are to them, so naturally no one dared to stand up and say anything at this time. After that, several family heads nearby hurried down to pay their respects, and Ji Zhan of the Ji family also walked down tremblingly. Master, I was really rude just now, and I don't know your identity. I hope you can forgive me. Ji Wu walked up to Yi Xian, his old eyes filled with guilt, and bowed deeply to Yi Xian. It doesn't matter. Let's just let this matter go. Your Ji family has paid the price. Yi Xian nodded slightly and didn't make things difficult for him. 3 people from the Ji family had died, so this could be considered a lesson. Thank you, Banner Lord Haihan. Ji Wu breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this, but his heart was filled with mixed emotions. All this happened too quickly, and he had not yet reacted. Fortunately, Yi Xian did not target the Ji family too much, otherwise they would have been in big trouble this time. The other family heads were also very excited. They looked at Yi Xian respectfully and apologized for their indecent behavior just now. Master, we didn't know what was going on just now. If we have offended you in any way, please forgive us. Yes, this Azure Dragon flag has been lost for who knows how long, so we didn't expect it. Please don't blame us, Flag Master. Yes, as long as you come, all 8 of us will listen to you. We will do whatever you say. Upon hearing this, Yi Xian nodded with satisfaction, looked deeply at the family heads, and said seriously. Since you all think so, that's great. The 8 families now are no longer the same as before. There are problems in many places. Each family needs to be properly rectified. This is a must. So what I'm thinking is, let the 8 major families be incorporated into the Yanhuang military department and observe for a period of time, and then we can deal with the rest later. Upon hearing this, the family heads did not dare to express any opinions, but simply nodded respectfully. They felt a little comforted when they heard that perhaps they would just be incorporated into the Yanhuang military department for observation for a period of time. Of course, this might not be a bad thing. Several family heads also know that when the previous flag masters were in power, the power of the 8 major families was not comparable to today. The 8 major families at that time were famous throughout China and were admired by everyone. When faced with natural disasters and man-made tragedies, the 8 major families are the first to step forward, preventing those villains from daring to invade and giving China a bright and peaceful world. And today's 8 major families, after the ups and downs of history, although they are still the top families in China, they have made considerable regression compared with the past. Looking at Yi Xian, the flag leader who appeared in front of everyone like a divine soldier sent from heaven, several family heads were excited but also a little worried. After all, Yi Xian looks too young. Although his strength and status are among the best, it is doubtful whether he can be like the previous flag masters. But it is too early now and nothing can be seen. Several family heads thought that the answers to all this can only be left to time. Flag Master, can we take a look at this Azure Dragon flag? At this time, the old man who won was looking at the blue dragon flag flying in the wind, his heart filled with mixed feelings and his eyes flashing with excitement. Flag Master, we also want to take a good look at and touch this Azure Dragon flag. Is that okay with you? Alas, this Azure Dragon flag has always been just an impression to us old guys. Master, can you let us take a look? Several other flag owners also revealed burning gazes, staring intently at the Azure Dragon flag, more excited than seeing gold and diamonds. Yi Xian nodded in agreement gently, and several family heads hurriedly thanked him profusely, carefully picking up the green dragon flag beside them and examining it. Looking at the green dragon flag in their hands, which was full of historical vicissitudes and profound meaning, several old men almost burst into tears, and their hands, which were stroking the flag, were also trembling slightly. After all, the green dragon flag means something extraordinary to them. Their ancestors have been searching for it for dozens or even hundreds of years, but in the end they could only leave with regret and reluctance. Originally, they thought that they could only follow in the footsteps of their ancestors, but when the green dragon flag was placed in front of them, their feelings were indescribably complicated. There is happiness, excitement, relief, and hope for the future. At least the significance of the Azure Dragon flag to the 8 major families is as grand as a totem to a tribe. Even if it is not everything, it is at least a part of the faith. An unknown amount of time had passed. The old men looked at the green dragon flag for a long time before they recovered from their excitement and emotion. Ahem! Old Master Ring coughed lightly, walked up to the jade platform, looked solemnly at the people on the platform, and spoke in a serious tone. Everyone, today is a joyous day. At the once-in-a-decade 8 Directions Forum, we finally welcomed the return of the leader of the Azure Dragon banner. The regrets of our ancestors are now understood. I believe that with the leadership of the leader, our 8 major families will definitely have a better future. The main purpose of this 8 Directions discussion meeting is actually to elect a new leader, a person with enough weight to command the 8 major families. But now that the Flag Master has returned, we have achieved the purpose of the 8 Directions discussion meeting. After the Flag Master returns, our 8 major families will be incorporated into the Yanhuang military department, so there are still many related matters to be arranged. Now I declare that the 8 Directions discussion conference will end ahead of schedule. Chapter 234 Return to the Capital. With the sonorous and powerful voice of the old man who won the prize, the 8 Directions Forum, which had not yet begun, officially came to an end, and thunderous applause broke out from all the people present. Afterwards, each family gradually dispersed, and the next step was to make some preparations for merging into the Yanhuan military. Yi Xian also discussed with several family heads for a while, and arranged the relevant matters regarding the incorporation of the 8 major families into the Yanhuan military department. After all, this is not a trivial matter and it is not something that can be dealt with carelessly. When Yi Xian parted ways with several family heads and walked over to Longshi, Bai Ling, and others, Longshi and Bai Ling quickly surrounded him and looked Yi Xian 360 degrees again, their eyes full of surprise. "Brother Yi, what other identities of yours have you not told us yet?" Longshi looked at Yi Xian in surprise and took a deep breath. Bai Ling also opened her eyes wide and looked at Yi Xian suspiciously. "Brother Yi, you hid it too well, how come we didn't know about it?" Yi Xian didn't say anything. He first put away the green dragon flag, then slowly looked at the two of them and spoke. Let's go down the mountain first, we can talk about it later if there is anything." The two nodded helplessly and had to listen to Yi Xian and pack up to go down the mountain. Several little guys also gathered around excitedly at this time, looking at the green dragon flag in Yi Xian's hand, their little eyes shining, and they were full of curiosity about the green dragon flag. After all, Yi Xian just used a green dragon flag to make the people from the 8 major families change their arrogant attitudes to respectful ones. "Dad, can you show us the flag?" Dad's flag is so powerful. Once it's taken out, those older brothers and uncles dare not say a word. "Dad, I want to see it. I want to see it." Looking at the expectant looks on the faces of the little ones, Yi Xian smiled dotingly and handed the green dragon flag to them. "Okay, let's play." The little guys seemed to have found a treasure. After a cheer, they started playing with the green dragon flag. Bai Ling, Longshi, and others looked at it helplessly. After all, it was a blue dragon flag, not a toy for children. "Brother Yi, you are too." Bai Ling's mouth twitched slightly, and she looked at Yi Xian helplessly and said. The other people also shook their heads and watched the funny scene with wry smiles. The little guys treated it as a toy and were cheering and having a lot of fun. Everyone couldn't help but think, if those old family masters saw this, they would be so angry that they would spit out blood. The green dragon flag that others had been searching for generations, Yi Xian actually gave it to his daughter as a toy. Let's go down the mountain." At this time, Yi Jing was holding the green dragon flag in her little hand, followed by several other little ones, singing and carrying things all the way down the mountain. Yi Xian smiled, took Wang Xiniao's hand, and followed the little guys down the mountain. Bai Ling and Longshi looked at each other in bewilderment for a long time before they slowly reacted and hurriedly followed. Soon, everyone returned home. A few little ones had been yelling that they were hungry since early morning. As soon as they walked into the house, they pitifully grabbed Yi Xian. "Dad, we are hungry, can you go and cook for us?" "Yeah, Xiaoxi's stomach is growling with hunger." "Dad, I want to eat braised pork and pumpkin soup." Bai Ling, who was standing nearby, saw the appearance of the little ones and was immediately amused. She walked to the little girls with a grin. "Girls, let me cook for you, okay? My cooking is delicious." The children looked at Bai Ling doubtfully after hearing what she said, their expressions showing that they didn't quite believe it. "Sister Bai Ling, is the food you cook really delicious?" Bai Ling nodded and ruffled the hair of the little girls with a smile. "Don't worry, the food I cook is delicious and will definitely satisfy you." But even though Bai Ling said this, the little guys were embarrassed for a while, but still looked at Yi Xian. "Dad, we still want to eat what you cook, okay?" "Okay. Dad will go cook for you right away." Yi Xian shook his head with a wry smile and had to walk towards the kitchen. After all, he was tired today and it was time to eat. "You little guys." Bai Ling felt helpless, but there was nothing she could do about these little guys. While waiting for Yi Xian to cook, the little guys went to play with the little black cat. Just at this time, the little ones saw someone on TV using a laser pen to tease a cat and they thought it was fun. "What is this? It looks like fun." Yi Xia pointed at the laser pen on TV and suddenly became excited. He also wanted to use the laser pen to tease the cat. "Ah! This looks like fun. But we don't have this thing, what should we do?" "I don't know, what a pity." The little ones suddenly felt a little regretful. After all, it looked very tempting, but there was nothing they could do about it. Meow. The little black cat squinted his eyes and watched the TV. He yawned and lay down lazily again. "What are you looking at?" Bai Ling looked at the little guys who were absorbed in watching TV and walked over with a smile. "Sister Bai Ling, do you have this thing?" We really want to play with it. When the children saw Bai Ling coming over, they felt like they had seen a savior and quickly asked Bai Ling if she had this thing. Hey, sister has this. Bai Ling chuckled, and the little one's eyes lit up and they started to act coquettishly. Sister Bai Ling, you are the best, can you play with us for a while? Sister Bai Ling, we like you the most. You will let us play, right? Sister Bai Ling, let's just play for a while, just play for a while. At this time, all the children surrounded Bai Ling, their little mouths were sweeter than each other, and they looked into Bai Ling's eyes with longing. Well, it's not impossible, but you have to kiss your sister. Bai Ling smiled gently, pointed at her own face, and moved closer to the little guys. The little ones were impatient and kissed Bai Ling on the face affectionately several times. Sister Bai Ling, is it okay now? Yi Shi pouted her lips and looked at Bai Ling with a smile. All right. I'll let you guys play. I really can't do anything with you. You just now refused to let me cook for you. Bai Ling also agreed with a smile, took out an exquisite laser pen from the bag beside her and handed it to the little ones. Thank you, Sister Bai Ling. We will definitely eat what you cook in the future. The little ones nodded heavily, agreed immediately that they would let Bai Ling cook for them in the future, and happily took the laser pen. Chapter 235, incorporated into the Yanhuang military. Then, the little guys left Bai Ling aside, took the laser pointers, and excitedly found the dozing little black cat. Oh, these little guys. Bai Ling smiled helplessly and was ready to see what the little guys were trying to do. Kitty, we found something fun, do you want to play? Yi Jing held a laser pen in her hand, smiled sweetly at the little black cat, and then turned on the laser pen. Meow. The little black cat opened its eyes and cried softly, then saw the red laser dot that Yi Jing was shooting at its paw. Several little ones were also looking at the little black cat excitedly, expecting the same reaction as the cat on TV just now. But contrary to expectations, the little black cat didn't seem to have any interest. It just yawned and moved its paws slightly. Why is that? The children were immediately disappointed. This was not the reaction they wanted to see. It was completely different from what they saw on TV. Kitten, why don't you like this? Obviously the kittens on TV like it very much. Yi Jing muttered softly, but still there was no big reaction from the little black cat. The other little girls were also a little disappointed. They fiddled with the laser pen one by one, but there was no change. Ah! Why is that? All of a sudden, the little guys changed from their previous joy to a worried look, and began to suspect that there was something wrong with the laser pen, and looked at Bai Ling who was watching with great interest. Sister Bai Ling, why doesn't the kitten react at all? Is this thing broken? Yi Xia hurriedly pulled Bai Ling's clothes and pointed at the laser pen in his hand and asked. Bai Ling smiled helplessly, thinking that this was no simple cat, it was impossible to fool it with just a laser pen. Ah! I don't know this, sister. Maybe Kitty doesn't like this. Hearing this, Bai Ling could only say this, but she still winked at the little black cat beside her. Meow. The little black cat called again, but the call sounded a little helpless. Looking at the lost looks of the little guys, it stopped lying on the sofa and stood up. The little guys didn't give up and continued to try with the laser pen, but this time, the little black cat's reaction was completely different from before. It started to get excited and pounced towards the red laser dot with its paws. Yeah. The little black cat finally moves. Seeing this, the children's eyes, which were a little lost just now, suddenly became happy and excited. They kept shaking the laser pens in their hands, and the little black cat also followed obediently to catch the red dot. Ha ha ha. This is so funny. This little kitty is so cute. Kitten is here. Here. A little faster. A little faster and we can catch it. Suddenly, the room was filled with the laughter of several little ones. They were having a lot of fun playing with the little black cat with the laser pen. After a while, Yi Xian prepared the meal and was about to call the little guys to start eating, but he saw that the little guys were still playing with the little black cat. He also found it interesting and followed to take a look. Girls, it's time to eat. What are you playing? Seeing Yi Xian coming over, several little guys excitedly threw themselves into Yi Xian's arms, excitedly holding the laser pens in their hands, and told Yi Xian about how they had just used the laser pens to tease the little black cat. Dad, this is so much fun. We want to play with it for a while. By now, the little guys all looked as if they were still unsatisfied and even forgot about being hungry. Looking at the laser pens in the children's hands, Yi Xian immediately understood what they were doing. He then smiled gently, stroked the faces of the little ones and said, "Okay, let's play after dinner, okay? The kitten is tired from playing, so let it rest for a while." "All right." Upon hearing this, the children nodded obediently, put down the laser pens in their hands, and followed Yixian out to eat. At the dining table, Longshi and Bai Ling were nibbling at the food in their bowls while looking at Yixian curiously. "Hey, what's wrong with you two? You've been looking at me since you sat down. What do you want to do?" Yixian was also a little amused and asked the two of them. "Brother Yi, I just want to know when you became the leader of this flag, and what other identities are you hiding from us?" Bai Ling's eyes were shining as she looked at Yixian's eyes curiously. Longshi was silent on the side, and nodded as well, feeling the same curiosity as Bai Ling. "Okay, let's eat quickly. There are so many delicious foods, but they can't stop you from eating." Yixian just smiled and said nothing, but asked the two to continue eating. "All right." Bai Ling pouted, and had no choice but to pick up the bowl and eat it bit by bit. A few days later, at the southeast branch of the Yanhuang military, Zhang Qingtian was waiting at the door, with some high-ranking military officials standing beside him. After all, Brother Yi called him yesterday and said that a new instructor would be coming today. Knowing that it was someone Yixian called, Zhang Qingtian had to take him seriously. If the instructor Yixian called was someone powerful, he must be. Thinking of this, Zhang Qingtian became more and more expectant. As time passed, he saw a group of people walking towards him from a distance. After taking a closer look, Zhang Qingtian's eyes widened suddenly, because he saw a familiar figure. It was Ying Bai. But the difference is that this time, Ying Bai was actually walking at the end of the group. Last time, Ying Bai was the one who led the way here, but now he is just following behind the team with no sense of existence at all. Suddenly, Zhang Qingtian felt his scalp tingling and looked at the scene in disbelief, thinking that the people who came this time could be the real elite of the winner. Just as Zhang Qingtian was in shock, the team came in front of everyone, and Ying Bai hurried up and introduced them to Zhang Qingtian with a smile. "General Zhang Long, long time no see. Let me introduce you. This is our old man, the winner. The others are the winner's most elite disciples." After listening to Ying Bai's introduction, Zhang Qingtian was stunned again. Looking at the old man in front of him with a kind face but sharp eyes, he suddenly felt a strong sense of oppression. Although the old man who won the championship is old, his aura remains undiminished. After years of accumulation, he has become even more amazing. In an instant, Zhang Qingtian was surprised and happy. He quickly stretched out his hand to Mr. Ying and said with a smile. Chapter 236, Not Simple. "Oh. It's Mr. Ying, welcome. I didn't expect you to be here." Mr. Ying is not a man of high rank. He has been incorporated into the Yanhuang military department. According to his rank, he has to obey Zhang Qingtian's arrangements. Then, Mr. Ying also shook Zhang Qingtian's hand enthusiastically and said with a smile, "General Zhang Long, you're welcome. General Yi Long has assigned us to the Southeast Division of the Yanhuang Army, and you are the top leader here. We all listen to you." Hearing this, Zhang Qingtian, who was holding the old man Ying's hand, almost trembled and was shocked. What was going on? Before, he had to beg for help from everyone before he invited Ying Bai and others. Who knew that once Brother Yi took action, the entire Ying family would listen to him, even the dignified head of the Ying family? However, this also made him happy. After all, as one of the 8 great families with a long history, if the winner is a real family elite, it will be of great help and improvement to the members of the Yanhuang military department. Thinking of this, he finally understood why Yixian was so mysterious when he called yesterday. It turned out that the person was of such a nature. "Thank you so much, everyone, please come in." Zhang Qingtian did not dare to neglect them and quickly invited all the winners in, directly to his office, and made a pot of good tea for them. "Everyone, please feel free to sit down and have some tea." Zhang Qingtian smiled happily. This was brewed with the best tea he had, which was the tea Yixian gave him. "General Zhang Long, you are too polite." Mr. Ying Jia and others also thanked Zhang Qingtian. Just smelling the aroma of the tea, they felt refreshed in their lungs, knowing that this was a rare good tea. Then, the winners took a sip, their eyes widened immediately and they exclaimed in amazement. "Wow! This tea is so delicious. What a great tea! It smells so good. Compared to this, the teas I drank before are simply tasteless. TSK, TSK, TSK. I've learned a lot. I've never tasted tea as good as this. It feels like my chest is filled with the fragrance of tea." All the winners were amazed by the tea. They held the teacups in their hands and sipped it in small sips, fearing that they would finish it in one gulp. General Zhang Long, where did you get this tea from? It's absolutely amazing. The old man who won the prize was also full of praise. He immediately looked at Zhang Qingtian excitedly and asked about the origin of the tea. This tea was given to me by General Yi Long, isn't it good? General Yi Long will give it to you. Mr. Ng exclaimed immediately, looking at the clear tea in the cup, his heart was also surging. I have tasted a lot of really good tea, even the Wui Mountain Imperial Tribute Mother Tree de Hongpo, but no other tea can compare with this. After knowing that the tea was actually given by Yi Xian, Mr. Ng was even more shocked, thinking that this flag owner was truly extraordinary. Not to mention anything else, being able to get such tea and being able to give a lot of it to others already means a lot. After that, everyone sipped their tea and arranged teaching matters, and time was getting later and later. The next day, the winners showed up at the training ground on time and began intensive training for the military members. Zhang Qingtian and several senior executives looked at the loud drums and gongs on the training ground, and they were filled with emotion. Sure enough, this core disciple is indeed different from Ng Bai and others, which can be clearly seen from his teaching skills. At the same time, such scenes were also being staged in various branches of the Yanhuan military department. The 8 major families also moved into various branches of the Yanhuan military department at the same time and began training their members. In the southeast branch, Zhang Qingtian has been observing the winners for several days. From the training in the past few days, it can be seen that the winners are sincere. Every young man and their family quickly became friends with the other members here. They were strict during training, and they joked and laughed with each other on weekdays without any airs. When it comes to teaching and training, they give their all without reservation, which not only satisfies the members but also helps them improve to a great extent. Seeing this scene, Zhang Qingtian was happy in his heart. This was also what he wanted to see. However, since they were like this, Zhang Qingtian did not hide it. After a training session, he gathered all the winners together and took out an enhanced version of the Qingling potion. After everyone drank the refreshing potion and felt the changes in their bodies, they were all shocked to the extreme. This was simply a miracle drug. As people who have practiced martial arts for a long time, the winners also keenly realized that their body functions have been greatly improved, and their combat effectiveness is simply not at the same level as before. Feeling the effects of the potion, the winners were surprised and thought that Yi Xian was a god. Originally, everyone was somewhat worried about Yi Xian becoming the flag leader at such an age, but after experiencing so much, their thoughts slowly changed. The old man of the winning family felt strongly that Yi Xian was far from being as simple as they imagined, and there were many things they had not seen. Here, Yi Xian and others also returned to Zhongzhou, and then began to prepare to return to Jinling soon. The day before they were about to set off, Yi Xian saw that the weather outside was fine and the sun was shining, so he took the little ones out shopping and bought some souvenirs. The streets outside were very busy. A few little guys were walking around the street with Yi Xian in their hands, and finally they walked into a local souvenir shop. Most of the items sold here are small accessories and some local folk items. Although Yi Xian thought that the souvenir shops were similar to those in other places, the little ones liked them very much, so he had to go in and take a look. There were mostly foreign tourists choosing souvenirs in the shop at this time. A few little ones ran in excitedly and attracted everyone's attention. Wow! Whose little angel is this? She's so happy. Yeah, it's so cute. Honey, let's have a daughter too. Oh my god. They can't be quintuplets. What luck! For a moment, the store was filled with accents from all over the place, but the tone and expression of each person revealed their love for the little ones. Yi Xian followed the little ones with Wang Xinyao on his arm. Looking at how lively and excited they were, his face was filled with joy. Mom, look at this, isn't it beautiful? Chapter 237 Gift. In the blink of an eye, Yi Zi came over with a flip-top bronze mirror carved with patterns in his hand and handed it to Wang Xinyao. It looks great. How about it? Does Xiaozi like this? Wang Xinyao looked at the makeup mirror and looked at Yi Zi curiously, wondering if this little guy was so vain. Hey, no, Mom, I just thought you might like this. With this, you can touch up your makeup when you're outside. Yi Zi chuckled and winked at Wang Xinyao. Wang Xinyao opened her mouth wide, at a loss for words. So this is what Yi Zi meant. At that moment, Wang Xinyao held the makeup mirror in her arms and said with a sweet smile. Xiaozi is so good. She even thinks about her mother. I'll accept it. Thank you, Xiaozi. Yeah. Seeing Wang Xinyao accept the bronze mirror, Xiaozi jumped for joy, and then followed the other little ones to see the souvenirs. Stroking the bronze mirror in his hand, Wang Xinyao's eyes trembled and he was very excited inside. Seeing these little guys growing up, and knowing how to care about him and Yi Xian, he thought to himself that this was great. Xinyao, what are you laughing at? Yi Xian took the bronze mirror from Wang Xinyao's hand, looked at it, and asked with a smile. It's nothing, I just feel that these girls are becoming more and more obedient. Yeah, I've never been so happy before, either when they bought me a belt last time, or when you brought them to celebrate my birthday. Recalling the previous scenes, Yi Xian felt a warm feeling in his heart. Ever since these little guys appeared in his life, everything seemed to have become better, and his mood was different from before. Looking at Yi Xian's eyes gradually sinking into memories, and the smile that was always on the corner of his mouth, as warm and gentle as the sunshine, Wang Xinyao glanced at him and was immediately intoxicated, and put her head on Yi Xian's shoulder. During this period of time, Wang Xinyao felt the same as Yi Xian, and felt that her life had changed drastically. She enjoyed the beauty brought by the family reunion. The female clerk in the souvenir shop thought the little ones were cute as they were picking and choosing things in the store, and walked over with a smile. My dears, what do you like? I can help you find it. Hearing the voice, several little ones looked at the clerk in unison, paused slightly, then blinked their big eyes and spoke in a baby voice. Thank you, sister. We can find it ourselves. Okay, you guys are so good. The female clerk looked at the serious expressions of the little ones, laughed, and walked aside without disturbing them. Afterwards, a few little guys picked for a while, and then walked to Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao with the things they had chosen in their hands. Mom and Dad. We've picked it out. The children held up the things they had picked and shared them happily with the two. Yi Yun and Yi Zi each picked a beautiful glass. Yi Shi was holding a cute little bear doll, and Yi Xia was holding a screaming duck in a somewhat comical way. Although these are just little gadgets, the little guys are very satisfied and can't let go of the things in their hands. Finally, Yi Jing also came running over, holding a rag doll in her hand in addition to a hairpin she had picked for herself. Mom and Dad. This is my hairpin. This is the doll I want to buy for Xiaodan. She likes it the most. Yi Xian smiled when he heard that, squatted down, touched Yi Jing's excited little face, and said lovingly. Not bad, Jingjing even remembered to bring something for Xiaodan. Having said that, Yi Xian remembered that Yi Jing hadn't played with Xiaodan for a long time. After all, they had been outside during this period. How about this, Jingjing, after we get home, you can call Xiaodan and ask her to come over to our house to play, okay? Okay. Thanks, Dad. Yi Jing was so excited when he heard that he couldn't wait to take out his cell phone and tell Xiaodan right away. Yi Xiao on the side stopped Yi Jing and spoke with confidence. Sister Jingjing, let's talk about it if we can't get it. This way we can give Xiaodan a surprise. Yi Jing looked at Yi Xia and pouted, thinking that it was indeed true. She nodded and put away her phone. After paying the bill, the little ones walked out of the souvenir shop contentedly. After shopping outside for a while, they went home with Yi Xian. Because I'm going back to Jiling tomorrow, I still have to prepare and pack my things today. In addition, we had to get up early to go to the airport tomorrow morning, so after dinner, everyone packed up their things, took a shower, and climbed into bed to rest. As the private plane took off and penetrated the clouds, Yi Xian and others also embarked on the journey back to Jinling. The journey did not last long. After a short rest, everyone arrived at Jinling Airport. After returning home, the little ones woke up from their sleep on the plane. Looking at everything here, they felt particularly familiar. After living in so many villas, the little ones still feel most at home in Villa number 1 Yulongtianj in Jinling. After all, it was here that they felt the love from their father for the first time. After packing up, Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao let the little ones play at home for a while. They hadn't been here for a long time, so it was time to go out and buy groceries. Yi Jing couldn't wait to take out her cell phone and called me, Zhou Xiaodan. Beep. Beep. The phone had just rang a few times when Zhou Xiaodan on the other end answered the call excitedly. Xiao Jing. Is that you? Hearing Xiaodan's familiar voice, Yi Jing also smiled, pouted her lips, and said mysteriously. Of course it's me. Guess where I am now? Zhou Xiaodan pouted her lips, then suddenly squinted her eyes and smiled, saying with surprise and joy. Xiao Jing, you're not going back to Jiling now, are you? Hey, you guessed it right, come to my house and play. Okay. I'll be right there. After hanging up the phone, Zhou Xiaodan jumped off the sofa and ran out of the house excitedly. After a while, Zhou Xiaodan came to the villa in a hurry. After opening the door, she hugged Yi Jing and spoke with excitement. Xiao Jing, you're finally back. Yi Jing was also very excited. She pulled Zhou Xiaodan into the house and took out the gift she had prepared for Zhou Xiaodan. Xiaodan, this is a gift I gave you, come and see if you like it. Holding the doll gift box in her hand, Yi Jing smiled and placed it in front of Zhou Xiaodan. Wow! I love it. Thank you, Xiao Jing. At this time, Zhou Xiaodan took the rag doll and looked at it lovingly. The more he looked at it, the more he liked it, so he pulled Yi Jing to play with it. Chapter 238 I'm so blessed. The little ones were playing with their dolls and teasing the little black cat from time to time. They were having a lot of fun. After playing for a while, Zhou Xiaodan received a call. The call was from Zhou Xiaodan's cousin. After knowing that Zhou Xiaodan was there, she asked her and Yi Jing to come out for dinner. After knowing the news, Zhou Xiaodan looked at Yi Jing and others and asked with a smile. Xiao Jing, Xiao Xia, my cousin just called and asked us to go out for dinner together. Do you want to go? Okay. Yi Jing nodded. The other little girls also wanted to go, so they ran to Yi Xian and talked about going out for dinner. Dad, Xiaodan's sister asked us to go out for dinner together, can we go out? Okay. Do you want Dad to take you out? Yi Xian agreed with a smile and asked with concern. Hey, no need, Dad. We're all grown up. Yi Xia was giggling foolishly beside him, and then he was the first to run out. Oh, these little girls. Yi Xian looked at the cute little girls running out, smiled and shook his head. Honey, is it okay to let them go out like this? Wang Xinyao walked over, still feeling somewhat worried. It's okay, Bai Ling Longshi and the others are watching over us, and Xiaodan's sister is here too. Yi Xian comforted Wang Xinyao while rubbing her shoulders. His eyes were a little dazed for a moment, and he leaned over to Wang Xinyao's ear and spoke softly. Xinyao, there are only two of us now. Feeling Yi Xian's warm breath next to her ear, Wang Xinyao's body trembled suddenly, her cheeks turned red and hot instantly, and she answered in a voice as small as the buzzing of a mosquito. Yi Xian didn't say anything either, but stuck close to Wang Xinyao from behind. The two of them stood outside the window, watching the little guys running excitedly towards the entrance of the villa area. At this time, Wang Xinyao realized that there were only her and Yi Xian left in this huge house. Thinking of this, Wang Xinyao felt her heart pounding and her breathing became rapid. She seemed to be able to feel Yi Xian's body temperature and heartbeat beside her. Before this, it was difficult for her and Yi Xian to have such opportunities to spend time together. The little guys were always around them, leaving them no independent space at all. At this time, the little ones went out to play, and the two of them tacitly felt that there was an addictive smell in the air. Xinyao, let's go back to the room. After hugging for a while, Yi Xian smiled evilly and whispered in Wang Xinyao's ear. The next second, before Wang Xinyao could react, Yi Xian picked up Wang Xinyao and strode towards the room. Ah! Feeling her body floating in the air, Wang Xinyao didn't react in time and immediately let out a scream. Then, seeing Yi Xian hugging her with a loving look in his eyes, Wang Xinyao's face instantly became even redder, and then she covered her eyes. Outside, several little guys were skipping and jumping towards the villa area, laughing and talking all the way. Yi Jing was also holding Zhou Xiaodan's little hand, telling each other about the interesting things that happened during this period. After walking for quite a distance, they found Zhou Xiaodan's cousin Zhang Feifei who was waiting at the gate of the villa area. Zhang Feifei was stunned for a moment when she saw so many girls following Zhou Xiaodan. She quickly rubbed her eyes, thinking she was seeing double. What's going on? Surprised, Zhang Feifei quickly pulled Zhou Xiaodan aside and asked a question. Zhou Xiaodan looked at his cousin with a surprised expression and rubbed his head awkwardly. Then he remembered that his cousin didn't know about this. Cousin, it's like this, they are all Yi Jing's sisters, and also my good friends. Ah! My dear sister. Hearing this, Zhang Feifei was shocked again. This was actually her biological sister. Seeing how they looked similar in age, could they be quintuplets? Thinking of this, Zhang Feifei swallowed her saliva, and a hint of envy flashed in her eyes. My goodness, your parents are so happy. Then, Zhou Xiaodan introduced several little ones to Zhang Feifei one by one. Zhang Feifei liked Yi Jing and the others very much as they were polite, cute, and well-behaved. Okay, I know you all now. I'll take you to eat something delicious later, okay? Okay. Thank you, Sister Feifei. The little guys also had a good impression of Zhang Feifei. Besides, she was Zhou Xiaodan's cousin, so the relationship was not too distant. As they spoke, the little guys were ready to set off, but Zhang Feifei stopped them with a smile. Don't be anxious, wait a little longer, there will be another sister coming over soon. She's my best friend. Okay. The children nodded obediently, and instead of running around, they stood there and waited with Zhang Feifei. After a while, a girl in a black dress carrying a small bag came over here in a hurry. Phew. Sorry, I was stuck in traffic in the tunnel just now. I almost passed out. Yi Wen smiled apologetically and greeted Zhang Feifei. But when she saw the little guys, she was stunned. She stared at Zhang Feifei blankly, her jaw almost dropped. No way, Feifei. Are you a kindergarten teacher now? Upon hearing this, Zhang Feifei smiled bitterly and shook her head, saying helplessly. What? This is my cousin Zhou Xiaodan. The other 5 sisters are her good friends. So that is how it is. After hearing this, Yi Wen finally understood. Looking at the ignorant eyes of Yi Jing and the other little ones, she couldn't help but feel surprised. Hello, Sister Yi Wen. Sister Yi Wen is so pretty. The little guys were very sweet at this time, which immediately made Yi Wen very happy. Ha ha ha. Thank you, little sisters. We all have the last name Yi. Maybe we were from the same family. Bending down to tease a few little girls, Yi Wen also liked them very much. She took Yi Xia and Yi Shi's hands and walked forward. Come on, I'll take you to eat something delicious. I'll treat you whatever you want to eat today. Yeah. Now that everyone was present, they stopped a car and drove towards a nearby commercial street. After getting off the car, Zhang Feifei and Yi Wen brought the little ones to a restaurant. This was a restaurant they frequented here and they were quite satisfied with it in all aspects. The 2 of them walked into the restaurant with 6 little ones, and in just a moment, they attracted everyone's attention. Wow! It's so cute! There are so many cute little sisters. Oh my god! My heart is melting. So happy, I wonder whose family this is, so blessed. Chapter 239 Care. People were eating in the hall, but they all looked at the little guys. They were very envious and couldn't help but stare at them for a while longer. The boss and other senior executives on the side ignored them. After all, many important people came today, and they should be solemn in such occasions. Not long after that, Lin Yuhan from the Lin family was invited up by a group of dignitaries. Master Lin, it's great that you can come. Please come in, we have arranged everything. Master Lin looks more capable than before. He is indeed the one we admire. Do you think this restaurant is suitable? If not, we can always change it. Lin Yuhan was wearing formal clothes at this time, still the same as always, exuding a mature and steady temperament. It's fine right here, no need to bother anymore. Lin Yuhan shook his head and followed everyone into the restaurant. Okay, Master Lin, please go upstairs. We have booked a private room upstairs. As they were talking, a group of people came in. Since they had booked a private room upstairs, they invited Lin Yuhan to go upstairs. Such a grand scene also attracted the attention of other customers at this time, but looking at the way these people were dressed and their demeanor, they knew they were people of prominent status, so they just looked. Upon seeing this, the boss also greeted him respectfully and warmly came to Lin Yuhan's side. Everyone, it is a great honor for our shop to have you here. Seeing the hotel owner coming, several dignitaries behind Lin Yuhan came up and suggested whether to reserve the 2 large private rooms on the top floor. By the way, boss, is your private room on the top floor still available? We have quite a few people here, why don't we book it? The other dignitaries also nodded. After all, it was Lin Yuhan who came today, so the ceremony had to be just right. This. When the boss heard about the private room upstairs, he suddenly looked embarrassed and said apologetically. Sorry everyone, one of the rooms has been reserved. Now there is only one left. Upon hearing that there was only one room, the dignitaries present all shook their heads, looking somewhat regretful, but they had no choice but to give up. Then, surrounded by the boss and a group of dignitaries, Lin Yuhan walked upstairs, but just when he turned the corner of the stairs, he accidentally saw a few little girls walking towards the private room. Lin Yuhan's footsteps suddenly trembled, and after confirming it again and again, he was shocked. He didn't expect to meet Yi Xian's daughters here. During this period of time, he hadn't seen Yi Xian for a long time, and he didn't know Yi Xian's whereabouts, and there was no news about him in Jilin. Now seeing Yi Jing and the other little guys, Lin Yuhan also knew clearly that it seemed that Yi Xian had returned to Jilin. After entering the private room, Lin Yuhan was naturally invited to the main seat by everyone, but he was still thinking about what he had just seen with the little guys. After thinking it over again and again, Lin Yuhan walked out of the private room, called the boss who was waiting at the door, and whispered a few words to him. The boss looked solemnly at the private room that Lin Yuhan mentioned and nodded heavily. Okay, Master Lin, don't worry, I will definitely do it. Seeing the boss nod, Lin Yuhan finally felt relieved and turned back to the private room. At this time, Zhang Feifei and Yuan sat down with a few little ones and started ordering food. The little ones looked at the dazzling array of dishes on the menu and immediately started drooling. They had eaten early in the morning to catch their flight, so they were quite hungry now. Sister, I want to eat this sweet and sour pork ribs, is that okay? Yi Jing smacked her lips and looked at the exquisite dish on the menu with her eyes widened, but out of politeness, she still looked at Zhang Feifei and asked a question. Okay. It's okay, just order whatever you want. Yuan smiled at the little ones, waved her hand generously, and prepared to have a big meal herself. Thank you, Sister Yuan. Then, the little ones gathered together to look through the menu and ordered what they wanted to eat. While ordering, they did not forget to take care of Zhang Feifei and the others' appetite, making the two of them like these girls even more. Okay, that's all. After the little ones finished ordering, Yuan ordered 2 more dishes and then handed the menu back to the waiter. After the children ordered their food, they were excited and happy since they hadn't seen each other for a long time, and started playing around in the spacious private room. Looking at the innocent looks of these girls, Zhang Feifei and Yuan smiled at each other, and then sat aside and started chatting. By the way, Xiaowen, I see you've been quite busy lately, what are you doing? Zhang Feifei took Yuan's hand and asked about recent events. Yuan shook her head when she heard this, and thinking about her experiences during this period, she rubbed her temples and said tiredly. Oh. Feifei. I've been so exhausted lately. I've been running around with my dad and met a lot of important people. You know, there are a lot of rules in those occasions. I don't feel comfortable at all. I can't learn to control myself like my father. When Zhang Feifei heard this, she nodded with empathy and looked at Yuan with some heartache. Hey, it seems like your business isn't doing well right now, you still have to run around like this. That's right. I'm scared. If my dad retires and leaves all these things to me, I don't know how exhausted I will be. Zhang Feifei smiled slyly when she heard that, tapped Yuan on the shoulder and said jokingly. Ha, that's great, you should let your dad enjoy his retirement life. Haha, stop it. I'm really not cut out for this. Yuan made a bitter face and rolled her eyes at Zhang Feifei. As they chatted and laughed, the dishes were soon served. Seeing that it was almost time, the two called the little ones to eat. Sisters, it's time to eat. You can play after eating. Good. Smelling the aroma of food in the private room, the little ones shuddered, feeling their stomachs growling with hunger, and all sat down in their seats. Come on, eat more and don't be polite with your sister. While Yuan was giving instructions to the little ones, she was also considerately putting food into their bowls. Hey, thank you, Sister Yuan. Because of the reunion with Zhou Xiaodan, they also got to know 2 older sisters, Zhang Feifei and Yuan. The little girls were very happy and their appetites increased, so they started to eat with relish. Zhang Feifei and Yuan also took good care of the maids. Seeing that the maids wanted to eat braised prawns, they carefully helped to peel them. Chapter 240 Miss Yi. The children enjoyed the meal very much and everyone was having a great time. The meal was finished quickly. Everyone's stomachs were full and they burped with satisfaction. How's it going? Are you full? Zhang Feifei was worried that the little ones were not full, and was thinking about whether to add some more dishes. Burp. Sister, we are full. Our tummies are so full. She rubbed her belly. She was very full after this meal. Xiaoxi, you are so cute. Yuan chuckled and walked over to rub Xiaoxi's belly. Well, now that we're full, let's go for a walk. Then, the two called the waiter and prepared to pay the bill and leave. However, the person who came in was not a waiter, but the owner of the restaurant. Everyone, have you finished eating? Do you need anything else? Because he was a distinguished guest chosen by Lin Yuhan, the boss did not dare to neglect him and walked in personally. Well, that's good, let's pay the bill. Yuan nodded and took out her wallet to pay. However, the boss smiled respectfully and waved his hand quickly. No need to worry about that. Mr. Lin has already said that you don't have to pay for it. It's free. Ha! It's free. Zhang Feifei and Yi Wen looked at each other. They didn't know who Boss Lin was, so they looked at the restaurant owner in confusion. Boss, who is this? Mr. Lin? The restaurant owner smiled slightly and did not answer directly, but looked at the two of them. Excuse me, which one of you is Miss Yi? It's me, what's wrong? Yi Wen frowned and said in a daze. The boss nodded, thinking that this must be the person that Master Lin was talking about, and greeted him warmly. Hello, Miss Yi. It's like this. A boss from Tianjing asked me to take good care of your private room, and the bill is also on his head. And he also said that if you are willing to come over in the future, you can remember it here. We welcome you at any time. Ah, this. After listening to the boss's words, everyone fell into deep confusion for a moment. General Lin? The boss from Tianjing? Who is this? Yi Wen racked her brains but could not come up with this impression. While a few people were puzzled, Lin Yuhan and a group of bosses from upstairs also came down. The bosses behind looked at the head of the Lin family walking in front with a glass of wine, and they were also confused. It looks like he's going to make a toast. But looking around this restaurant, is there really anyone worthy of Lin Yuhan doing this? Master Lin, who are you looking for? At that moment, several CEOs also asked with a smile. But Lin Yuhan just walked down hurriedly, without paying any attention to the words of the boss behind him. Then, Lin Yuhan and others came to the private room. When the boss saw Lin Yuhan, he quickly came up to greet him warmly. Mr. Lin, you're here. I've made all the arrangements as you said before. That's good. Lin Yuhan smiled and nodded with satisfaction. On the other side, Yi Wen looked at Lin Yuhan walking in and was also surprised. This man's aura was so strong that the moment he came in, everyone looked at him sideways and dared not look directly into his eyes. And looking at his clothes, Yi Wen also knew that this so-called Mr. Lin must be a person of extraordinary status. But if that was the case, why did he come to their private room? She clearly didn't know him. Just when Yi Wen came to her senses and was about to ask about Lin Yuhan's identity, a few little guys noticed Lin Yuhan, ran over excitedly, and surrounded Lin Yuhan. Uncle Lin! Why are you here? Uncle Lin! Your dress looks so handsome today. Hey, Uncle Lin, you came at the wrong time, our dad is not here now. Ah, you little girls are so sensible. Lin Yuhan smiled and touched the heads of Yi Jing and the other little ones, and was very enthusiastic towards them. What's wrong? Can't Uncle come to see you if he doesn't look for your father? At this moment, this scene was like a dramatic silent film. Yi Wen and Zhang Feifei's heads were buzzing, and they looked at the little guys being intimate with Lin Yuhan in disbelief. Now Yi Wen also knows that the Miss Yi mentioned before was not herself at all, but these girls. But why would these little guys be treated like this by Mr. Lin, who was so magnanimous? The two didn't think much about it, and the first person they thought of was the father of the little guys, Yi Xian. Master Lin, what are you doing? The bosses who followed Lin Yuhan in were also quite puzzled. What was going on? Why was Lin Yuhan so enthusiastic towards these little guys? Let alone these little guys. They have never seen Lin Yuhan have such an attitude towards anyone in Jinling. Is it because of the identities of these little guys? Seeing the surprised expressions on the bosses' faces, Lin Yuhan smiled faintly and talked about Yi Xian, the father of the little ones. You guys don't know this, right? The father of these girls is no ordinary person. Their father, Yi Xian, is the developer of the Qingling potion that has shocked the whole world. He is also a 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuang army. Boom! As soon as these words were spoken, the whole place fell silent for a moment. Everyone stared at Yi Jing and the other girls in a daze, and couldn't help but gasp. The developer of the Qingling potion. The 5-star dragon general of the Yanhuang army. This identity is so great that they never thought that the other party is actually the father of these girls. The heads of the CEOs were blank at this moment, and the shock in their hearts was like a flood. This identity was really too great. It was simply not in the same dimension as them. No wonder the dignified head of the Lin family was so enthusiastic towards these girls just now. Now the bosses can finally understand it. Yi Wen and Zhang Feifei's hearts suddenly beat faster, as if they were on a rocket. They were confused as they looked at the girls who had just eaten with them. My goodness, what kind of god is the father of these little ones? It is simply beyond their imagination. Oh my god! Is your father so powerful? Yi Wen and Zhang Feifei couldn't help but move closer to the little girls, looking at Yi Jing and the other girls in horror. they were completely at a loss for words to describe the shock in their hearts. Yes, Uncle Yi is amazing. Zhou Xiaodan pouted her lips innocently and gestured clumsily with her hands as she explained to Yi Wen and Zhang Feifei. Chapter 241, Eager. Uncle Yi has a big house, which is awesome. He's very kind to us. And his cooking is so delicious. Xiaodan is still drooling just thinking about it now. Zhang Feifei and Yi Wen couldn't help swallowing their saliva when they saw Zhou Xiaodan pointing fingers at them. He is actually a super dad. The bosses nearby reacted and walked over to the little ones with smiles on their faces, greeting the girls enthusiastically. Children, are you still hungry? Uncle will treat you to a delicious meal, okay? How about I take you back later? My car is so comfortable to sit in. Ha, Uncle likes you guys very much. What are your names? The bosses now knew Yi Xian's identity, and their enthusiasm for the little guys was even greater than that for Lin Yuhan. The children were also very polite and answered the boss's questions with smiles on their faces. Although there were many people around, the children were not shy at all. This made everyone exclaim in their hearts, as expected of the daughter of a figure like Yi Xian, she has really seen the world. By the way, kids, do you want to act in a play? As they were talking, Zhang Ting, a boss in the entertainment industry, looked at the little guys. Suddenly his eyes froze, and then he asked them with a smile. Acting? Several little guys bit their hands and looked at Zhang Ting with some confusion, not quite understanding what this meant. Well, it's like this. Uncle has a palace drama recently, and we just happen to be short of a few roles for young princesses. Do you want to play it? Zhang Ting looked at the little ones with a kind face, her tone was soft yet full of magnetism. When other bosses noticed Zhang Ting's move, they were all stunned and thought to themselves that this old guy is really skilled. Acting and being a little princess, how could these little guys resist? Sure enough, after the little ones knew this, they were all surprised and nodded happily. Yes, Uncle. We love acting. Hee hee, and we love playing princesses the most. Uncle, we want to go. We want to go. Although Yi Jing was excited at this time, she did not forget to ask her father for permission, and spoke politely to Zhang Ting. Uncle Zhang, although we really want to act, we still need to ask our father for help. Ha ha ha. That's no problem. Uncle welcomes you anytime. You guys, you didn't forget to ask your father first, you are so sensible. Zhang Ting smiled and nodded, raised her big sow head, and praised the little ones for being sensible. Well, since everyone is so happy today, why don't we sit down and have a drink to celebrate our little princesses who are about to step onto the big screen? Lin Yuhan picked up the wine glass and walked forward. Everyone smiled when they heard his words and sat down. Cheers to our little princesses. Zhang Ting also raised his glass, and everyone else did the same. Although Zhang Feifei and Yi Wen were still a little dazed, they still poured themselves a glass of wine. Yeah. A few little ones held up their drinks and imitated the adults. Although they seemed a little out of place, their clever and cute looks were really endearing. Afterwards, everyone had dinner together, and after the meal, they returned to the Yulongtian Pavilion Villa in a mighty manner. It was not until they reached the entrance of Villa number 1 that everyone stopped the car, ready to send the little ones back together, and also to talk about acting. After Yi Wen and Zhang Feifei got off the car, they saw the grandeur and luxury of Villa number 1. Their hearts, which had already been somewhat numb with surprise, were shocked again. What is luxury? This is what luxury is. When I was at the door just now, although I knew that a few little guys lived in here, I didn't expect it to be Villa number 1. You know, owning a villa like this is not just a symbol of wealth, but also a symbol of status. The bosses seemed a little reserved at the moment. After all, the people in this villa were not ordinary people. Lin Yuhan and Zhang Ting walked in front with the little ones, all the way to the door of the villa. When they arrived at their doorstep, the children skipped forward and knocked gently. After Yi Xian heard the sound inside, he hurried over to open the door. You guys are back? After opening the door, he saw the familiar faces of several little guys, and the expression on Yi Xian's face became incomparably gentle. Yes, Dad. Many uncles and aunts came back with us today. Hey, even Uncle Lin is here. We're back together. Dad, look behind you. When Yi Xian heard this, he was a little overwhelmed. He looked towards the girls and saw Lin Yuhan, Yi Wen, and others behind him. Haha, is it so lively today? Come in quickly. Yi Xian smiled slightly, then waved to invite Lin Yuhan and others to come in. Thank you, Mr. Yi. The bosses all looked reserved, but when they saw Yi Xian's gentle attitude, the tension in their hearts was slightly relaxed.
Dad, this is Xiaodan's cousin, Sister Zhang Feifei, and this is Sister Yuan, a good friend of Sister Zhang Feifei.
The little guys were very happy to see so many people around. They brought Zhang Feifei and Yiwen, who were standing nearby, over and introduced them to Yi Xian in a very energetic manner. Well, hello. I'm the father of these girls. By the way, these kids are not causing you any trouble, right? Yi Xian smiled and nodded, then invited the two into the house. No, they are all very well behaved. Zhang Feifei smiled and waved her hand, then took the little ones in with her. Sitting in the living room, Yi Xian made a pot of tea for everyone and poured himself a cup. Then he looked at the bosses who were sitting on pins and needles and brought the teapot to them with a smile.
Thank you, Mr. Yi.
They were all flattered and quickly took the teapot to pour tea for themselves. They were so excited because, after all, this was the tea that Yi Xian made for them.
Master Lin, what a coincidence, how did you meet?
Taking a sip of tea, Yi Xian looked at Lin Yuhan, who was sitting next to him, and asked about what happened today.
Mr. Yi, it's a coincidence today.
I happened to meet your daughters when I was having dinner with a few friends in a restaurant. I just learned that you have returned to Jiling, so I came to visit you.
Yes, that's it.
Yi Xian smiled and nodded, and the two exchanged a few more pleasantries. Several little guys gathered around Yi Xian, winking at Zhang Ting, who was sitting on the other side, and waiting eagerly.
Chapter 242, Playing the Little Princess.
Zhang Ting smiled when he saw this, and while Yi Xian and Lin Yuhan were talking, he stood up respectfully and introduced himself to Yi Xian.
Hello, Mr. Yi.
Let me introduce myself.
My name is Zhang Ting. I work in the entertainment and film industry.
I came here today not only to visit you, but also to discuss something with you.
Oh. Go ahead.
Yi Xian chuckled and waved his hand casually, signaling Zhang Ting to speak.
Mr. Yi, it's like this. I met your daughters by chance today.
In addition, I haven't found a suitable child actor for a palace drama under my company during this period. The character in the play is a young princess in the palace, so when I saw your daughters, I felt that there is no better candidate than them.
The ladies are all very happy to participate in the performance, but I don't know what you think?
Yi Xian listened patiently, his expression did not change, he just nodded slightly.
Dad, can you let us act? We will definitely act well. Daddy, Daddy. This is a little princess. I love being a little princess, just let us act.
Dad, we will definitely listen to Uncle Jean when the time comes, just promise us. Several little guys also looked at Yi Xian with pleading eyes, hoping that Yi Xian would agree to let them act.
Okay. That's no problem.
Yi Xian smiled dotingly and immediately agreed to the requests of the little ones, thinking that since it was still the holidays, it would be nice to let the children get some experience.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
The children were overjoyed when they heard this, and they immediately jumped into Yi Xian's arms and hugged him affectionately.
Mr. Yi, thank you for your support. I believe that the ladies will be able to do the job.
Seeing that Yi Xian agreed without hesitation, Zhang Ting also smiled and nodded. Afterwards, Yi Xian and others continued to sit down and discuss some details of the acting. After a while, Lin Yuhan and a group of bosses stood up and were about to say goodbye to Yi Xian.
Mr. Yi, thank you for your hospitality. We won't bother you today. We will visit you again in the future.
Upon hearing this, Zhang Ting walked over to Yi Xian and started talking about the opening ceremony. By the way, Mr. Yi, I'll have to trouble you to bring a few ladies to the opening ceremony in a few days.
Okay.
Yi Xian smiled and nodded, watching Lin Yuhan and a group of bosses walk out. After turning around, Yi Xian saw Yuan and Zhang Feifei walking towards the door with Zhou Xiaodan.
Mr. Yi, we'll take Xiaodan back first, so we won't bother you anymore.
Zhang Feifei smiled and said goodbye to Yi Xian politely.
It's okay, just play for a while and leave after dinner.
Yi Xian squatted down and rubbed Zhou Xiaodan's little head, then tried to persuade the two of them to stay. It just so happens that the children haven't seen Xiaodan for a long time, so stay a little longer.
Forget it this time, Mr. Yi. Thank you for your kindness.
We have some things to do here, so I'm afraid we can't stay any longer today.
Zhang Feifei smiled and shook her head, indicating that she did have something to do. Okay then.
I'll let Tang Hao take you back. Yi Xian nodded, and without saying anything to try to persuade them to stay, he saw them off.
Goodbye, Uncle Yi.
After getting in the car, Zhou Xiaodan stuck his little head out of the window and waved at Yi Xian. Goodbye Xiaodan, come over and play when you have time. Good. After seeing them off, Yi Xian returned to the villa, still imagining what the little guys would look like in costumes. Inside the villa, the children were happily playing with the little black cat. Suddenly, they wanted to share the news with Wang Xinyao, but they looked around and did not see Wang Xinyao. Just at this moment, Yi Jing saw Yi Xian walking in and ran over in a hurry. Dad! Why don't we see Mom? The other little ones also poked their heads out to look at Yi Xian, eager to share their joy with their mother. Ha, your mother is tired today and is sleeping up there. Oh. After agreeing foolishly, the little guys seemed to have endless energy. They ran upstairs again and gently pushed open the door of the room. Wang Xinyao was sleeping soundly on the bed at this time, with a trace of residual redness still on her face. Mom is sleeping so soundly. Yi Shi opened her little mouth and spoke softly. Let's go sleep with Mom. Yi Xia rolled his eyes and proposed a good idea. The children all nodded in agreement, then took off their shoes and climbed onto the bed on tiptoe. Sleeping next to Wang Xinyao, the little ones felt their mother's body temperature and were wrapped tightly in the quilt. They felt comfortable and had an indescribable sense of security. The room was quiet and the children did not make any noise. Instead, they lay obediently beside Wang Xinyao, and from time to time they would help Wang Xinyao pull the quilt, unconsciously getting closer and closer to her. Although this picture is silent, it is very warm. Time and space seem to have stopped and become eternal in this moment. Blinking her eyebrows gently, Wang Xinyao gradually woke up from her sleep because of the movements of the little ones. Mom! Are you awake? As soon as she opened her eyes, Wang Xinyao saw Yi Shi's little face, and then she noticed that several little guys were all lying beside her. You guys are back? Aha! Yi Shi nodded mischievously, and seeing that Wang Xinyao's face was still a little red, she asked worriedly. Mom, Dad said you were tired, are you feeling unwell? Several other little ones also came over and looked at Wang Xinyao with concern. Well, I'm not feeling unwell. Mom is just taking a nap. As she spoke, Wang Xinyao's face became even more rosy, and she couldn't help but think of what she had just done with Yi Xian. By the way, Mom, we have good news to tell you, we are going to act in a play. Yi Jing came over with a smile, and couldn't wait to announce to Wang Xinyao that she and the others were going to act. Really? When Wang Xinyao heard the news, she sat up from the bed and looked at the little guys in surprise, not knowing whether they were playing a joke on her or not. Afterwards, the little ones talked to Wang Xinyao about what happened today and briefly explained the cause and effect of the matter. After hearing this, Wang Xinyao finally understood. Looking at the excited faces of the children, she smiled with relief. Okay, are all my girls that capable? Well, if you want to act, you have to perform well. Got it? I got it, Mom. We can definitely play the role of the little princess well. Chapter 243 Opening Ceremony. The children nodded heavily, looking forward to the moment when they would put on their costumes and stand in front of the camera. One morning a few days later, because today was the opening ceremony, the children got up early with excitement. After washing up, they started to prepare for today's opening ceremony. Wang Xinyao prepared several sets of beautiful clothes for the children, while Yi Xian was preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Taking advantage of this time, Wang Xinyao also did not rest, helping the little ones to put on clothes, comb their hair, and make them look beautiful. Okay, we can eat now. Yi Xian had also prepared breakfast by this time and was calling Wang Xinyao and the children to come and eat. Dad, do you think we look good in what we wear today? When they heard Yi Xian coming out, several little girls who had just changed their clothes and combed their hair came over and clamored for Yi Xian to show them their looks for today. Yi Jing and the other girls were each wearing a little skirt and shiny little leather shoes. With Wang Xinyao having carefully styled their hair today, they looked very delicate and cute. Yeah, very good. Yi Xian smiled and nodded. This made the little ones even more vain and they kept clamoring to look in the mirror. Okay, stop being so conceited, let's have breakfast quickly, after that we still have to go to the opening ceremony. Wang Xinyao quickly stepped forward to stop the little ones, and then let them go to eat obediently. After dinner, Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao brought a few little ones to the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony was held in a square, which was already crowded with people. Many media and reporters were already waiting with cameras. Outside the square, there were many luxury cars, including those of some participating stars and sponsors, as well as cars belonging to Zhang Ting and others. A red carpet has been laid on an empty path leading to the center of the square. The staff are busy arranging the salute and the ribbon-cutting ceremony to be held later. Everyone has a serious expression, and it is obvious that this is not a trivial matter. In the center of the square at the front of the red carpet, a huge platform has been built. The big screen on it is showing the theme cover of this opening ceremony. The sound engineers and technicians are still doing the final debugging. Around the platform, many well-dressed CEOs were chatting with each other. Everyone had a smile on their face, and they were welcoming the opening ceremony with the best attitude. At this time, many people are also speculating, who are the actors who play the little princesses this time? After all, in this film and television drama, this plays an important role, and the actors are very crucial. Moreover, this is not something that ordinary mature actors can compare to. Such special actors are relatively difficult to find. Many people have brought their talents to audition before, but neither the partners nor the crew were very satisfied. Alas, the filming has already started, but I don't know how the selection of these young actors has been done. One of the men in suits sighed. He was also involved in the previous casting. Although it was only for a period of time, there was still no suitable candidate. The people around him also nodded, looking a little embarrassed. Lao He, I heard from the director that the young actors have been confirmed, but I'm still worried. Whether this drama can reach a high level depends a lot on these young actors. What? The role has been confirmed. The man just now slapped his head in surprise and quickly asked, when did this happen? Why didn't the director tell me? Oh, the cast was only decided a few days ago, and we just found out about it, but we don't know anything about the young actor. Well, let's go ask the director before it officially starts. Otherwise, we'll be worried. Okay, let's go. After making up their minds, they immediately found the director who was arranging the opening ceremony nearby and asked about the identities of the young actors. Director, I heard that you have already decided on these young actors. Who are they? Do you have any information? The director turned around and looked at them, smacked his lips mysteriously, and said with a smile, don't worry, there will be special little actors this time, and I guarantee you'll all be satisfied. Several people looked at each other, looking at the director's smile, thinking that he was actually keeping it a secret, and couldn't help but feel a little excited. Director, if you are relieved, then we have nothing to say. But aren't you just teasing us by saying this? Yes, director. I am looking forward to it now. I want to see where you found it. Anyway, it's already been decided. We trust your vision as a director, but you're really being cunning. Seeing the director's confident look, everyone felt relieved and started joking with the director. Don't worry, you won't have to wait long. Several young actors will also come to the opening ceremony today. You will know then. The director nodded, exchanged a few words with the others, and then went back to his work without stopping. Just as the three of them were about to go back, they suddenly heard a noisy sound. Oh my God! What kind of gods are these? Look, I'm really amazed. My goodness, the gap between people is really too big. As people's exclamations were heard one after another, a few people looked curiously in the direction where everyone was looking, and at first glance they saw a family walking towards them. It was none other than Yi Xian's family. They were walking slowly towards them with a few little ones, with a faint smile on their faces. People are all attracted to this family, and everyone's expression is extremely wonderful. After all, this family's appearance is so outrageous. Amid the increasingly loud exclamations, people opened their mouths wide and talked a lot, looking quite excited. This whole family is so beautiful. Both adults and children are absolutely stunning. I'm so envious. I'm afraid only a couple like this can have such a cute baby. I can't take it anymore. My heart is melting, this is just too adorable. While marveling at the looks of Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao, everyone's eyes couldn't help but turn to the little ones. The children were wearing pretty little dresses today, holding Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao's hands, and their little leather shoes made a clacking sound as they walked, just like a few cute elves, giving people a lively and playful feeling. Chapter 244 Welcome. For a moment, the live camera shifted from the opening ceremony to the little guys. Yi Xia even looked at the camera mischievously and stuck out his tongue playfully. This scene not only melted countless people at the scene, but also completely rocked the live broadcast room. Ah! This is so cute. I'm touched. What kind of ultimate cutie is this? I love it so much. Oh! What a pity. If I were there, I would definitely take a photo with these little angels. At this moment on the scene, the director, producer, and many CEOs were walking towards Yi Xian and others. Everyone was also confused and didn't know what was going on. The appearance of these people seemed rather abrupt, but why did the director, producer, and others follow here? What's going on? They even alarmed the director. Who are these people? I don't know. I've never seen him before. Could he be an actor? Anyway, I don't know if he's an actor or not, but he must be someone of some importance. However, as everyone was stunned, the director, producer, and a group of bosses came forward respectfully and greeted Yi Xian and others enthusiastically. Mr. Yi, you are here. Oh, I am so sorry for not welcoming you. Mr. Yi, it's great that you can come, otherwise our opening ceremony will not be complete. That's right. Mr. Yi not only added luster to our opening ceremony this time, but also brought us lovely little actors, which also solved our urgent worries. At this moment, the attitude of the director and his team stunned everyone present. What on earth was going on? The director and producer came to welcome them personally, and even so many CEOs were there. It was such a grand occasion. Not to mention anything else, just this aura is no longer comparable to those so-called actors and bosses. For a time, the identities of Yi Xian and others aroused suspicion among many people present, and all kinds of opinions were heard. From the looks of it, this might be the eldest son of some family. This scene is really too grand. I think this is most likely a major sponsor of this production. Otherwise, how could they respect him so much? Anyway, no matter what, they are of high status. Amid suspicion and surprise, many people came over and asked about the identities of Yi Xian and others. Excuse me, who are these people? One of the CEOs looked at the puzzled expressions of the people around him and explained with a smile without hiding it. Ha, this guy has quite an impressive background. This Mr. Yi is the developer of the Qingling potion. Boom! As soon as the boss words came out, everyone present felt a shock in their hearts. This person is actually the developer of the Qingling potion. Too big. This identity is too big. Hiss. I am so lucky to meet this person. At the same time, people on the internet were completely shocked. The barrage in the live broadcast room increased at a terrifying speed and soon turned into a sea of barrage. My idol is so young and handsome. The doctor is truly kind-hearted. Is this why after doing good deeds, a few little angels will appear beside him? I really don't know how to thank this person. I was almost driven crazy by cancer. If it weren't for the Qingling potion, I would have died long ago. Upon hearing the sound, the reporters present rushed over like a tide, and moved towards Yi Xian like moths to a flame, but they were all stopped by the security guards. But even so, despite the security guards' obstruction, the reporters still handed the microphones to Yi Xian frantically, and all kinds of questions came like a storm. Mr. Yi, when you were developing the Qingling potion, why did you choose to make it free for everyone? A professional financial institution has calculated that if you, Mr. Yi, charged for the Qingling potion, your wealth would probably be firmly at the top of the list in China. What is the reason that makes you not care about your own interests at all? Mr. Yi, you are here today as a guest at the opening ceremony, or do you hope to become a special guest actor in this drama? Suddenly, the scene became noisy and reporters were crowding in frantically. The crew had no choice but to call in all the security guards in the surrounding area to stop these passionate reporters. However, during this process, the little guys were not at all stage frightened. Even when facing the surging crowds and flashlights around them, they still appeared calm and composed. After this brief noise, the staff gradually controlled the excited people at the scene, making this opening ceremony a successful one. Boom! As a burst of intensive salutes resounded throughout the venue, the opening ceremony was officially begun. Everyone, welcome to our opening ceremony. Today is a good day. After today, the long-awaited drama will officially begin filming. Today, we have attracted many people who care about the show, as well as many sponsors and journalists. As the director of the show, I want to extend my warmest welcome to all of you who have come. The director stood on the stage with a microphone, excitedly hosting the opening ceremony. Our play this time not only has the veteran actors and famous young actors that we have revealed before, but this time, we also have several special young actors. Now, let us, the cute little angels, come up and say hello to everyone. As soon as the director finished speaking, the atmosphere of the opening ceremony reached its climax. When they heard that a few little guys were about to come on stage, the people present suddenly burst into thunderous applause, and they all looked at the little guys who were slowly walking onto the stage with excitement. Hello everyone. Nice to meet you all. Yi Jing walked up with a few little girls, smiling, and greeted the people below in a baby voice. Ah, I love you guys so much. You guys are really great. We support you and wish you all the best. The little angels are so cute. It's great to have you in this show. This created another wave of excitement at the scene, with people waving enthusiastically at the little guys. The little guys were not at all stage shy and responded to everyone in the audience with a smile. Chapter 245 Shooting. Even Yishi, who has the most introverted personality, has seen a lot of the real world after this period of time. Even here, she is not reserved at all. She just feels very excited, and her little face is red. Everyone, aren't these little girls very cute? I'm here to announce a great news to you on behalf of the crew. The director looked at the audience interacting with the children, smiled, and continued speaking with the microphone. These little girls will play the role of little princesses in our drama. I believe these little angels will definitely give us a surprise. Please continue to pay attention to the subsequent filming of our drama. Great! We must pay attention and watch it. As long as these little sisters are in the show, we will wait no matter how long the filming takes. I don't think there are any other candidates as suitable as these little ones, and they are Mr. Ye's daughters, so they will definitely be able to do the job easily. When the director announced that a few little ones would be actors in the play, the crowd was extremely excited and thunderous applause broke out. No matter who you are all looking forward to the performance of these little ones in the play. You can't wait and are looking forward to seeing this drama as soon as possible. After all, these children are so cute and not at all stage frightened. They are the most suitable candidates for the little princess in this play. Apart from them, there is no one more suitable than them. For a moment, people were imagining how great these cute little guys would look if they put on their costumes and stood in front of the camera. In addition, everyone present also knew that these little guys were Yi Xian's children. Who is Yi Xian? He developed the Qingling potion and popularized it throughout China. Countless people have benefited from it, and everyone has a good impression of Yi Xian. You know, because of the birth of this refreshing medicine, countless people have been saved and freed from illness and suffering. Such an achievement is not only worthy of being passed down through the ages, but is also worthy of being recorded in history and called a song of victory. What makes people feel happy is that Yi Xian not only does not charge a penny, but also strictly controls it and does not allow the medicine to flow into the country. Even if the price is very high, he will not be tempted and will only provide it to the people of China. How could people not admire and worship such courage and patriotism? In just a moment, Yi Xian became a national idol. Then, after introducing a few little guys, the opening ceremony proceeded in an orderly manner. Time passed by minute, and after the director's thanks and closing speech, the opening ceremony came to an end. Everyone, I declare that our opening ceremony has now ended, but please don't rush to leave. Our crew has arranged a banquet for everyone. Let's drink and chat today, and don't leave until we are drunk. Afterwards, people were led by the crew to a nearby restaurant. The crew had contracted an entire floor of the restaurant and arranged a grand banquet. After people took their seats, the director, producer, and a group of CEOs raised their glasses and walked over to Yi Xian, and many people around him did the same. The leading Zhang Ting and a group of CEOs came over, looked at Yi Xian in front of them excitedly, and raised their glasses passionately. Mr. Yi, thank you so much. Not only did you bring us the best young actors, but you also came to our opening ceremony in person. Don't say anything, each of us should toast you. Zhang Ting thanked Yi Xian profusely and then drank the wine in the glass. The others also raised their glasses and drank them all. Yi Xian has now become the core of the entire banquet. During the entire banquet, many CEOs and sponsors came over enthusiastically to toast Yi Xian and thank him. Their eyes and behavior were full of admiration. After the banquet, because the filming was to start the next day, Yi Xian did not stay long. He returned home with the little ones and rested early to prepare for the next day's filming. The next morning, Yi Xian personally sent the little ones to the filming location of the crew. In the car, the little ones hugged Yi Xian tightly. Although they were very excited, they were also a little nervous. After all, they had never had this kind of experience before. Dad, we're about to start filming, but I'm so nervous. Yishi grabbed Yi Xian's sleeve and curled up in Yi Xian's arms, feeling both excited and scared about the subsequent photoshoot. It's okay, just relax. Yi Xian doted on Yishi, rubbed her in his arms, and gave instructions to the children. Girls, just follow what the uncles and aunts there say. Relax a little. We're just going to have fun and act as we please, okay? Good. The children were comforted by Yi Xian, and somehow they calmed down a lot and agreed in a baby voice. Not long after, everyone arrived at the crew smoothly. Although the staff, director, producer, and others had all arrived, no one dared to start filming first. They were all waiting for the arrival of the little ones. Finally, after Yixian brought a few little ones over and everyone carefully and gently welcomed the children in, the filming officially began. In the next few days, the filming was in full swing. Although Yixian did not participate in every detail of the filming, he was not vague at all. He often brought meals to visit the little ones, and would bring Wang Xinyao over from time to time. In the beginning, the director, producer, and others actually thought that these kids had no acting experience and their acting skills might not be very good. But after performing a few shots, the director was amazed by the excellent performance of the little ones. They are so smart that they can remember many details and emotions required for the performance with just one reminder. Because of the intelligence of these little guys, the filming process was extremely smooth. This made the director, producer, and others surprised and happy, thinking that this girl is worthy of being Yixian's daughter. She is so talented. In one of the scenes, the children, playing the role of a little princess, were playing in the garden when they were suddenly attacked by thieves nearby. Originally, the director was a little worried that the little guys wouldn't be able to act out the sense of crisis they were experiencing, but the performance of the little guys made him feel amazed. The whole process went smoothly and the filming was completed smoothly. Chapter 246 Appointment. Once, Yixian was coming over to bring food to a few little ones. After taking care of them and finishing their meal, an outdoor scene was about to begin. "Dad, do you want to come and see our performance?" The uncles all praised us for our great performance. "Okay." Just as the filming was about to start, a few little guys pouted their lips and excitedly pulled Yixian aside to watch. This time the filming was done in the suburbs. The plot was that the carriage of several little princesses was destroyed while they were out. When they were resting and preparing to go back, they accidentally discovered their aunt's conspiracy. The camera started working, and a few little guys quietly walked behind several actresses in ancient costumes, eavesdropping on their conversation. "Shoo! Let's keep our voices down. Sister, it's my stomach growling. Ah, if we keep doing this we'll be discovered." At this time, several little ones were also wearing small costumes, following quietly behind him. Xiao Shi rubbed her little belly while following them. Yishi acted out her hungry look very realistically, and after being scolded by her sister, her aggrieved little mouth was both pitiful and hilarious. When eavesdropping on the actress in front, the little ones also successfully acted out that sense of urgency. Their tiptoeing look was cute and lively, not out of place at all, and made it seem incredibly real. Soon, after the wonderful performances of the little guys, although it was a long shot, it was unexpectedly passed in one go, and every detail was brilliant. "Dad, how was our performance?" After completing the filming, several little guys ran towards Yixian, threw themselves into his arms, and asked about their performance. "Yeah, that's great. You guys are really great." Yixian squatted down and looked at the excited faces of the little guys, and couldn't help but praise them a few more times. After a few more days, the first big scene was finished, and the crew was preparing for the next one non-stop. However, this time it is the scene of returning to the palace. Undoubtedly, this is the more exciting stage in the whole plot, but things that make everyone sad also follow. What should we do? Should we go to the palace in Tianjing, or go somewhere else? The director was discussing with several people at this time, but he was very troubled because the schedule of Tianjing Palace was full, and they would start shooting a little late, so they couldn't make an appointment now. Here, the little guys had nothing to do, so they just listened next to the director and others. Just when the director was discussing with a few people, and this and that were not possible, a few little guys came up with a good idea. "Uncle Director, if you can't find a place, you can go to my dad's place. My dad has a big palace." Yi Jing walked up playfully and gently pulled the director's clothes. "Ah?" Looking at the little guy's innocent face, the director was completely dumbfounded. "Is this a joke? No matter how rich or powerful you are, you can't own a palace. My dear aunt, please stop joking around at this time. How about this, I'll let the sisters over there take you out to catch dolls, okay?" The director swallowed his saliva, still thinking that the little ones were just talking nonsense, so he could only smile and invite them to go over and play first. But the little ones pouted, looked at the director stubbornly, and spoke in a baby voice. "Uncle Director, we are not kidding, our father really has a palace and he even took us there for dinner. Yes. We promise it's true. Uncle Instructor, if you don't believe it, you can go ask our dad." The director looked at the little guys and saw that they looked serious and didn't seem to be joking, so he could only nod blankly.
Okay, then uncle will listen to you. Let's go find your father. There seemed to be no other way now, and the director had no choice but to give it a try and trust those little guys for the time being. After all, this is Yi Xian's daughter, so it is impossible for her to speak nonsense. However, suddenly telling him that he can own a palace made him doubtful. Then we can also go home and see mom and dad. Seeing that the director agreed to go home with them, the little ones were very happy. The director did not waste any time and immediately arranged a car and took the little ones back home. As soon as they got off the car, the little ones saw Yi Xian drinking tea in the sun outside. Their faces immediately lit up and they ran all the way to Yi Xian's arms. Dad, we are back, are you happy? Why are you back? Yi Xian was holding the girls and smiling. He felt it was a little sudden. Then he saw the director and producers walking behind the children. Hey, Dad, the director wants to ask you something. Yi Xi looked at the director behind her with a smile. Seeing that the director was a little timid at this time, she simply walked over and pulled the director over. What's wrong? Are you guys making trouble in the crew? Yi Xian glanced at the director and joked to the little ones with a smile. Dad. No way. We are very obedient in the crew, the director can testify to that. The children's lips puffed up when they heard this, and the director smiled and nodded. Mr. Yi, the ladies have performed very well in the crew, but I did encounter some difficulties this time. Well, it's okay, just go ahead. Yi Xian groaned for a moment, his expression becoming a little more serious. Well, it's like this, Mr. Yi. Our first big scene has been shot. Now we will continue to shoot the scene where the ladies return to the palace. But we neglected this point. There is no palace that can be booked now, so we can't find a place to shoot for the time being. The director looked a little embarrassed. After all, he came to ask for help, and this was not a trivial matter. However, the little guys didn't think anything of it. They came up to Yi Xian, pulled his sleeves and talked. Dad, doesn't our family have a big palace? Well, we've been there before. Dad, please help the director, otherwise we won't be able to act. Dad, there shouldn't be anyone booking our family's palace yet, right? The children looked at Yi Xian eagerly, and Yi Xian finally understood what he meant. It turned out that these little guys were helping the director to come up with ideas. Ha, you little guys are quite opinionated. Very good. Yi Xian smiled and nodded, rubbed the children's little faces, then looked at the director and said. Chapter 247 right here. Director, if that's the case, let's go take a look. If you think it's okay, just go ahead and shoot there. When the director and producer saw Yi Xian agree immediately, they were overwhelmed and looked at each other, their eyelids twitching wildly. What these little guys said was actually true. Yi Xian actually had his own palace. They didn't come here with much hope. Although a few little ones said so, it was so unreasonable that it couldn't be believed when heard by children. The reason I came here, first, is to confirm this matter, and second, if there is really no other way, I'm afraid I'll have to trouble Yi Xian to use his connections. This is the main thing. However, what caught them off guard was that Yi Xian didn't even consider it at all, as if it was not a big deal at all. How could they calm down? Mr. Yi, thank you so much. If it weren't for you, we really don't know what to do. After a pause, the director came to his senses, and hurriedly walked forward excitedly, thanking Yi Xian profusely. It's okay. Even if I don't help you, I'll help these girls of mine. Yi Xian smiled and waved his hand. The director nodded slightly and didn't say anything more. Okay, let's not waste time. You guys should take pictures first. I'll take you there first. Well, thank you for your help, Mr. Yi. Afterwards, everyone prepared without stopping and headed towards the palace. As soon as he got in the car, the director looked at Yi Xian sitting next to him, feeling excited and nervous, and couldn't help but ask one more question. By the way, Mr. Yi, excuse me for asking, where is your palace? It's okay, it's not far, it's near here, the Ningjiang Palace. Yi Xian looked out the window and replied calmly. Oh, it's Ningjiang. The director nodded, but halfway through his words, even the producer and others sitting in the back seat almost jumped up from their seats. Boom! At this moment, several people felt as if they were electrocuted. Their bodies twitched violently and they felt their whole bodies were numb and their brains were blank. They never imagined that Yi Xian not only had a palace in his hands, but it was actually the famous Ningjiang Palace. All of a sudden, the rumors that they had heard before also appeared in the minds of the directors and others.
Their facial muscles almost froze, their heartbeats suddenly accelerated, and their expressions became more and more exciting. According to the rumors they knew, this palace was a hereditary palace, and the owner was very powerful and well connected. He was a mysterious and terrifying existence. Many people have wanted to go in and take a look at the whole picture, but no one has ever been in. Even the top officials and dignitaries who are like fish in water in Jinling all stay away from this place. Even when they came for sightseeing before, they only dared to walk around the periphery of the palace. Not to mention going in, they didn't even have the courage to stand at the door for a while. Such a palace with a strong mysterious aura and a looming yet terrifying aura actually belongs to Mr. Yi. Moreover, Mr. Yi actually agreed to let them go in to film. Now they were about to drive to the Ningjiang Palace. If the director had not pinched himself just now and felt the real pain, he would have known that all this was real. Otherwise, he would have thought that this was all a bizarre dream. It was really outrageous. They were speechless all the way, and the director and the others didn't even dare to breathe. They looked out the window nervously. When they saw the outer wall of Ningjiang Palace from afar, they couldn't help but be shocked again. Well, we're here, let's go in and take a look. The car stopped directly in front of the main entrance of the palace. Yi Xian got out of the car first, followed by the director and others who came down tremblingly. Mr. Yi, you're back. After knocking on the door, the old butler came to the door as usual. When he saw that the person coming was Yi Xian, he was stunned at first, and then bowed respectfully and welcomed everyone in. Yeah. We're back again. The little ones were the first to walk in. The old housekeeper looked at the girls' backs and a smile appeared on his face. Come on, let's go in too. Yi Xian turned around to look at the director and others. The few people who were standing there in a daze finally reacted, thanked Yi Xian profusely, and followed Yi Xian in. The palace is deep and quiet, with just the right scenery and deep courtyards. It gives people a feeling of being isolated from the times, as if they had walked back 100 years ago. The original appearance of the palace is basically preserved here. Every brick and eaves, every tree and flower, even after 100 years of vicissitudes, still presents itself to the public in the best possible manner. When the directors and others saw it, they were so excited that tears welled up in their eyes and their whole bodies were shaking with excitement. Now they are in the Ningjiang Palace, a place where many people want to come in and take a look, but there is no door to enter. Standing here at this moment, the Ningjiang Palace did not disappoint them. Rather than being satisfying, it was more like a huge shock to their hearts. All of this is ancient and perfectly isolated from the outside world, just like an independent little world. Now seeing this, both the director and the producer were deeply attracted by the scenery of the palace, and they were convinced that there was no place more suitable than here. Everyone, let me take you inside for a look. The old butler coughed lightly, walked over to the director and others with a smile, and led them towards the interior of the palace. After driving around in a circle, the director and his companions became more and more shocked. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they would never have believed that there was a private palace in the world that was so well preserved. This place is amazing. The producer wiped his sweat. If they were filming here, they wouldn't even have to do any setup, they could just start shooting right away. Alas, Mr. Yi has helped us a lot this time. The director sighed and said, first a few little guys came here to act as actors, and now they were asked to shoot in this palace. He didn't know whether he should thank Yi Xian. After walking around, the old butler brought a few people back to the main gate, and Yi Xian also happened to come out with a few little ones. How is it, is this place okay? Yi Xian asked with a smile, and the little ones also blinked their eyes and looked at the director and others. Satisfied. Really very satisfied. Mr. Yi, we just don't know how to thank you. The director excitedly came to greet Yi Xian and others, and expressed his gratitude profusely. Well, that's good, then you guys can come here and shoot. Chapter 248 Watch. Began to arrange the follow-up work in a hurry. The next day, when the director brought a large group of people to the Ningjiang Palace again, everyone was stunned. No matter whether it was the staff, actors, or sponsors who came after hearing the news, they couldn't help but gasp when they saw this huge and ancient palace. Many people present knew something about the Ningjiang Palace. When they knew that they were here to film, they couldn't help themselves. But when they came over to take a look, they were all dumbfounded. Okay everyone, Mr. Yi has provided us with such a good filming location, we can't let Mr. Yi down, we have to make this movie well. The director was also very enthusiastic at this time and started to mobilize everyone. After a brief explanation, the various departments of the crew began to deploy their work. Not long after, they started filming in an orderly manner. At noon, Yi Xian was cooking at home. Looking at Wang Xinyo, who was busy working in an apron, he smiled and put his arm around her waist. "Hubby, what's wrong with you? Didn't we just?" Wang Xinyo blushed immediately and looked at Yi Xian shyly. "Xinyo, what are you thinking? That's not what I meant." Yi Xian smiled and shook his head, then continued speaking to Wang Xinyo. "Here's what I was thinking. We don't have much to do recently, so why don't we go on a honeymoon?" "Honeymoon?" Wang Xinyo was shocked and looked at Yi Xian in disbelief. A warm feeling surged in her heart and she didn't know what to say. "Yes, we have known each other for such a long time, and now we are together as we wish, but we haven't gone out for a proper honeymoon yet. I wasn't by your side before, but now that we're together, how can I not make up for what I did before? What do you think, Xinyo?" "Well, husband, I will listen to you." Wang Xinyo smiled sweetly and nodded gently. "So, husband, where should we go?" Yi Xian smiled, stood behind Wang Xinyo, put his arms around Wang Xinyo, and spoke softly. "I do have a good place. When the children come back for dinner, let's ask them." "Good." Wang Xinyo smiled and gently stroked Yi Xian's hands around her lower abdomen. After a while of tenderness, the two prepared the meal. After the little ones finished filming, they were taken back by Tang Hao. "Mom and Dad, we're back." When the door was opened, several little guys came skipping in. "Well, come and eat." Wang Xinyo smiled and waved. The little ones were also hungry, so after washing their hands, they sat down obediently and prepared to eat. "Girls, Daddy wants to ask you a question. I want to take Mom on a honeymoon. Just you guys stay at home. Is that okay?" During the meal, Yi Xian did not forget what happened before and asked the little guys with a smile. "Ah. How many of us should be at home?" The little guys were eating happily, but when they heard Yi Xian say this, the food in their mouths seemed to lose its taste in an instant, and they looked at Yi Xian pitifully. "Mom and Dad, what's wrong with you? Why don't you want us anymore? Take us with you, we will definitely be obedient, definitely. Mom and Dad, did we do something wrong?" Wang Xinyo covered her mouth and smiled, then looked at the little ones looking aggrieved and quickly comforted them. "Okay, Daddy is teasing you. How could I not take you with me?" Yi Xian also nodded and rubbed the faces of the little guys lovingly. "Yeah, there's no point in us going there to have fun without you guys. Well, do you want to go together?" The little guys then realized that Yi Xian was joking, and they immediately became excited, clamoring to follow him. "Okay. We're going. Hee hee, I know that Mom and Dad are the best and will never abandon us. By the way, Dad, where are we going?" After having fun, the children all looked at Yi Xian and asked about their destination this time. "Hee hee, we are going to a very far place, but the scenery is also very beautiful. This is a small island called Daxia Island in the Pacific Ocean. That's where we're going this time, okay?" When the children heard the place Yi Xian mentioned, they were stunned at first, and then they were delighted and couldn't stop smiling. "Yeah. That's great, we can go to the beach." Wang Xinyo was also a little surprised. This place is definitely a tourist destination. "Well, once you've finished filming, we'll set off. So you girls, keep working hard." "Okay, Dad. We will try our best." The little ones were so surprised and happy that they couldn't even keep quiet while eating. All they could think about was the beach, the ocean, the Atlantic breeze, and the unique exotic customs. A few days later, the cruise work went very smoothly. The filming of the young princess's scenes in the plot was completed, and the little ones also successfully welcomed the final day. During the wrap-up dinner, the entire crew and sponsors came to the scene, and Yi Xian also attended with Wang Xinyo in their best attire. While the director and others were eating, they kept toasting Yi Xian, thanking him for his help. In the end, they all drank so much that their faces were red and their necks were thick. After dinner, Yi Xian took the little ones and said goodbye to the crew and others, then returned home. "Dad, we want popcorn." After returning home, the children stretched, rolled their eyes, and ran to Yi Xian. "Didn't we just come back from dinner? Are you hungry already?" Yi Xian looked at the little guys in confusion. Why did they suddenly want to eat popcorn? "Dad, by the time you're done, we'll have almost finished digesting it." This. Looking into the watery eyes of the children, Yi Xian had no choice but to smile and nodded. "Okay, Dad will make it for you and reward you for your hard work these past few days." "Yeah." After making popcorn for the little ones, they started to taste it excitedly. As soon as they sat down, Yi Xian received the documents sent by the crew. When I opened it, I saw that it contained pre-made clips about some little guys. In addition to the main film, there are also many interesting tidbits. Yi Xian also took a quick look himself, then projected the screen onto the TV, and asked Wang Xinyo and a few little ones to come over and watch. Chapter 249 Packing Up. Dad, what is this? Yi Shi sat on the sofa, looking at Yi Xian with some confusion, and the other little guys did the same. You'll know soon. Yi Xian didn't say much, he just pressed the play button, and the clip began to play on the screen. This is a clip from our play. The children recognized it immediately, their little faces flushed with excitement, and the whole family sat together happily to watch it. In the clip, although the children were acting for the first time, their performance could be said to be excellent. Even when Yi Xian was watching it himself, he didn't feel out of place. Their outfits and looks are also carefully designed by stylists. They look quirky, playful, and cute. Their every smile and every move are very endearing. You girls are really good at acting. After watching it, Wang Xinyo couldn't help but praise that the performance of these little ones on the screen was no less than that of other mature actors, and they truly portrayed the innocence of young princesses. Well, very good. You little guys are really daddy's pride. Yi Xian looked at the little ones with a smile, thinking that this was a rare experience for them. Thank you, Mom and Dad. At that time, the director and producer praised us as little geniuses. Yi Xia pouted her lips proudly, smiled complacently, and was very satisfied with her performance. Xia, even though you performed very well, you can't be complacent. You need to keep up the good work. Wang Xinyo gently poked Yi Xia's little head and gave him some earnest instructions. Afterwards, everyone watched the behind-the-scenes footage, which was not the main film but was very interesting. Most of the clips here are about the little guys making mistakes, which make people laugh out loud from time to time, and the room is filled with a joyful atmosphere. Xiaoxi, you were so cute just now. Wang Xinyo was laughing so hard at this moment. The clip just now was about eating. Originally, they should have just taken a few bites and left, but Yi Shi forgot all that, and after the other little guys had left along with the camera, she was still there, eating her food with relish. We did remind Xiaoxi at the time, but she ate it so happily. Yi Xia and the other girls couldn't help but laugh out loud. Yi Shi scratched her head embarrassedly and muttered aggrievedly. It's because the food made by the crew is so delicious. Xiaoxi, if this is broadcast to you, the number of views of this drama will increase significantly. Yi Xian smiled and almost finished watching the video. He stood up and said to the little guys. Okay, that's about it, we should go pack up. Yeah. The children knew that they had to pack up and get ready to leave, so they jumped off the sofa and started packing their own small boxes, ignoring the greasy mouths from eating popcorn. The next morning, Yi Xian took the little ones and Bai Zhishi to the airport. Tang Hao had already contacted the charter plane in advance, and it was already ready to go at the airport. This trip included not only Yi Xian's family, but also Bai Ling, Longshi, and others, as well as Tang Hao. Yeah. We can finally go. The little ones carried their own small suitcases and jumped onto the chartered plane, feeling very excited. Welcome aboard, everyone. As soon as they got on the plane, several formally dressed and tall stewardesses came to greet them, politely and warmly welcoming the little ones. Little boy, can you help me move the boxes? One of the flight attendants saw Yi Shi struggling to carry her small suitcase, and hurriedly walked over with a smile and took it gently. Thank you, sister. Yi Shi raised her little head and said thank you in a baby voice. The suitcases of the other little ones were also taken over and put away by other flight attendants. Thank you, sister. You are so beautiful and gentle. The little ones gathered around the stewardesses with smiling faces. Their enthusiasm and smiles attracted the little ones' love. The flight attendants also like these little guys very much. Not only are they cute and smart, but they are also very polite. After all, they had entertained many clients who came to charter planes before, including some dignitaries, but people like them were often serious and spoke in a cold tone. Compared with those little guys, there is simply no humanity at all. You guys are very good, sister will take you to sit down, okay? The leading flight attendant squatted down and looked at the little ones, her dimples on her face revealed on her smooth white skin as she smiled. Thank you, sis, but we have to wait for our parents to join us. Yi Xia puffed up her lips and shook her head, then said goodbye to a few flight attendants, walked back to the entrance, and waved to Yi Xian and Wang Xinyo who were boarding the plane. Mom and Dad, hurry up, the plane will be leaving soon. Ah, here we go. Yi Xian laughed out loud. He was in a pretty good mood today. He simply pulled Wang Xinyo and ran towards the little guys who were making faces at him from above. Mr. Yi, welcome aboard. Please come this way. The stewardess waiting at the door put her hands on her belly, bowed slightly to Yi Xian, and then led everyone to their seats. Ha! We're about to set off. Beach. See? Here we come. Several little guys sat in their seats, shaking their legs gently. Although they had fastened their seatbelts, they still couldn't sit still. Sister, we are going abroad. Will the flight take a long time? Yi Shi looked at the other international flights taking off in the airport, and looked puzzledly at the flight attendant who was adjusting the seat next to her. Don't worry, kids. Although it will take us a little longer to get to Dasha Island than domestic flights, it's actually not that long. When you're tired from playing, take a nap and we'll be there soon. Yes, okay, sister. Yi Shi nodded, then leaned against the window, waiting for the plane to take off. On the other side, Yi Xian was also looking at Longshire. This guy was sitting in his seat. Although he knew that this trip was just for fun, he still couldn't let go. Chapter 250, Serious Expression. Longya, why are you so sad? We're not going anywhere, just have fun. Okay, brother Yi, I got it. When Longya heard Yi Xian talking about himself, he noticed that his behavior was somewhat inappropriate for the occasion. He tried hard to smile, and although it still looked weird, he felt a lot more relaxed. Ha, brother Yi, don't bother with Longshire, this blockhead. He's always like this, a complete blockhead. Bai Ling, who was standing by, couldn't help laughing when she saw Longshire being scolded by Yi Xian, and made fun of Longshire. Humph, you ugly woman, do you want to fight again? Don't think I can't do anything to you just because we're on a plane. Longshire looked at Bai Ling coldly. He couldn't stand being mocked by Bai Ling for no reason, so he immediately retorted. Ah! What's that look in your eyes? If you are not short-sighted, you should be able to see that I am a real beauty. Bai Ling's smile froze after Longshire finished speaking. After gritting her teeth, she no longer cared about her image and started to fight with Longshire. Why don't you look in the mirror? Forgive my eyes that can shoot arrows with great accuracy, but I can't see anything good about you. Longya. If you say that again, I will be angry. How dare you say that I am ugly? Look at how cold you are all day long. If you don't know me, you would be considered a cold-blooded animal. It seems that you are not only ugly, but also brainless. Humans have never been cold-blooded animals. Shouldn't you go back and study your high school biology textbook? All of a sudden, the plane that hadn't even taken off was completely filled with the sound of the two people's bickering. The little guys were not affected at all. In their eyes, the bickering between Uncle Longya and Sister Bai Ling was just a game. Anyway, no matter how they quarreled and bickered, it would not affect anything. Yi Xian was speechless at first, and even doubted himself in his heart. Was he wrong to bring this pair of bickering lovers together? But before the two of them could finish arguing, Yi Xian couldn't help but be amused. In a way, these two people were simply the happy pills. Ah, Longya, you're in pretty good shape today. You've made us Bai Ling speechless about what to say. Because the topic of cold-blooded animals came up, Bai Ling was speechless. In the past, the battle would last for who knows how long, but today, Longshire had the upper hand from the beginning. Honey, is it really okay for them to be like this? Seeing the two people quarreling, Wang Xinyo looked at Yi Xian with some concern, thinking that it would not be good if they continued quarreling like this. Ha, Xinyao, don't worry. If the two of them never quarrel, that's not them. Yi Xian smiled easily, then leaned over and whispered in Wang Xinyao's ear the interesting stories that happened between Longshire and Bai Ling. Ha, this is too funny. After a while, Wang Xinyao was also amused to the point of laughing, and all the worries in her heart disappeared. Dad, what joke did you tell Mom? We want to hear it too. No. Daddy can't just tell Mommy. Dad, tell us about it too. A few little kids heard Wang Xinyao's laughter and thought that Yi Xian told a joke, so they immediately clamored to listen too. Okay, let me tell you, once upon a time. Yi Xian smiled and told the two of them a joke, but the content of the joke was not related to Longshire Bai Ling, but it still made the little guys laugh. After the plane took off, Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao played with the little ones for a while, and the little ones also excitedly appreciated the beautiful scenery of the sky. Not long after, perhaps because they got up too early or because the journey was too long, the little ones fell asleep like this. Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao also closed their eyes and prepared to take a nap. As for Long Ye and Bai Ling, who were arguing just now, they were bored and started watching a movie together. After nearly 10 hours, everyone finally arrived at their destination, the destination of this trip, Dasha Island, which has a pleasant climate and beautiful scenery. Ah! We are finally here. Before the plane came to a complete stop, the little ones were already getting impatient. Afterwards, Yi Xian and his group got off the plane. The fleet of luxury cars that Tang Hao had arranged earlier was already waiting outside the airport to take them to the hotel. People on the street and tourists entering and leaving the airport were also shocked when they saw the convoy. They couldn't help but stop to watch and talk about it among the crowd. This must be a foreigner with a prominent background. These cars are all top-notch luxury cars. One of the brown-skinned Westerners took a deep breath and couldn't help but burst into an exclamation. It seems that our island is really popular. There are more and more tourists in recent years, but I didn't expect there would be such a generous owner. I'm so envious. Even if we randomly pick a car from here, it's not something we can afford in our lifetime. This lineup is so luxurious, I have never seen such a scene in my life. The rest of the Westerners were also dumbfounded, and the voices of discussion gradually became louder. Soon, Yi Xian and his group walked out of the airport and without any further delay, they rushed to the hotel that had been prepared in advance. When they arrived at the hotel entrance, the hotel manager who was waiting in advance saw the convoy of luxury cars slowly approaching, and hurried over to greet them warmly. He personally opened the door for the luxury car that Yi Xian and others were riding in at the front. Mr. Yi, on behalf of all the staff of our hotel, I welcome you and your family. I wish you a pleasant stay in our hotel. The manager was a Westerner, but he spoke fluent Chinese. He respectfully greeted Yi Xian and others as they walked into the hotel. This hotel is considered the most luxurious hotel in the entire Dasha Island. The area of the entrance alone is as large as half a football field, and there are many luxury cars parked around it. The hotel is about 30 stories high. Looking around, it is considered the tallest building, and its decoration style is also more European. After passing through the flip door, there is a brightly lit lobby with several sets of leather sofas around it. Many Westerners in suits are sitting together and chatting. The decoration of this hotel is elegant and luxurious, and every detail is carefully considered. In addition to guest rooms, the top-floor restaurant, swimming pool, gym and other facilities are also available. We'll be going upstairs soon. Remember to arrange for these distinguished guests to go to the presidential suite that has been prepared. Hurry! After entering the hotel manager picked up the intercom, called out a few times with a serious expression, then continued with a smile as he took Yi Xian and others to the elevator upstairs. Chapter 251 The Taste of Happiness. Not long after, Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao brought a few little ones into the room. The room was a presidential suite, occupying almost one-third of the size of the floor, and seemed extremely spacious. A few little guys put down their little boxes and started running around the room. Their light laughter immediately filled the whole room. Okay, girls, let your mother take you to take a bath, and then we can take a nap and rest for a while. After Yi Xian put down his things, he hugged the little guys lovingly. After all, there is a time difference when they came to this place. If they don't adjust to the time difference, they won't be able to have fun. Good. The children nodded obediently, and Wang Xinyao took them to take a shower, then drew the curtains and prepared to have a good sleep. After sleeping for a while, the jet lag of this journey gradually came to terms with it. But before Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao woke up, the little ones opened their watery eyes wide. We've had enough sleep, shouldn't we go out and play? Xiaoxi rubbed her eyes, walked to the window barefoot, and looked at the golden beach and the blue sea not far away, her eyes full of longing. Then let's wake up Mom and Dad together. Yi Xia chuckled, then pulled the other girls onto the bed and gently pushed Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao. Mom and Dad, it's time for us to leave. We are here to play, not to sleep. Mom and Dad, you can't sleep in. Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao woke up with the sweet voices and shaking of several little girls. Okay, Dad will get up right away. You guys should get dressed too. Yi Xian smiled, knowing that the little guys were impatient, so he changed his clothes and prepared to leave. Wang Xinyao took a few little ones to change into swimsuits, and Yi Xian also put on beach pants. After getting ready, everyone headed towards the beach together. After a while, because the hotel was not far from the beach, everyone arrived at the beach. There were already quite a few people on the beach at this time. Some were playing in the water, some were lying on blankets basking in the sun, and some were drinking beer and enjoying the sea breeze. Coconut trees, beaches, blue waves, crowds, all of these are interwoven into a beautiful picture, making everyone who arrives here feel reluctant to leave. Yeah, we're finally here. Several little ones wearing cute little swimsuits stepped excitedly on the soft sand. Facing the scenery in front of them, they no longer cared about anything else and ran around on this vast beach. Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao walked behind the little ones, looking at the children's happy backs with a smile, and there was warmth on their faces. Xinyao, this is our first honeymoon. Yi Xian put his arm around Wang Xinyao's waist and walked behind the little ones. Well, we'll have countless honeymoons in the future. Wang Xinyao smiled and listened to the children's laughter. She felt happy knowing that her loved ones were by her side. On the beach, the children played and had fun for a while. Suddenly they noticed the coconut trees behind them. They raised their heads and looked up at the ripe coconuts hanging on them. Wow! What a tall coconut tree! The little ones looked up at the coconuts swaying gently in the sea breeze, swallowed lightly, and began to miss the sweet and refreshing taste of coconuts. Dad! Dad! We want to drink coconut milk. After playing for a while, the little ones could no longer suppress their desire for coconuts. Their little feet left a trail of cute little footprints on the beach and ran to Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao. Throwing themselves into Yi Xian's arms, the children looked at him eagerly, pouted their lips, and pointed at the coconut trees behind them. Ha, do you want some coconut milk? Yi Xian took off his sunglasses and touched the little guys lovingly. Yeah, we really want it. Yi Xi smiled sweetly, knowing in her heart that Yi Xian would definitely agree to them, and she held Yi Xian's arm affectionately. Okay, wait for Dad to get it down for you. Clapping his hands, Yi Xian casually put his sunglasses in his trouser pocket and led a few happy and excited little guys to walk under the coconut tree. Dad, this coconut tree is so tall. How are you going to climb up? Yi Jing pursed her lips and looked at Yi Xian curiously, wondering how her father would get the coconut down. I know. Dad will definitely climb up. Yi Xia raised her hand happily, guessing that Yi Xian was going to climb the tree to pick coconuts. Ah! Daddy is not a monkey. It's too dangerous to climb that high. Xiaoxi looked up at the coconut tree, which was so tall that she had no idea how much taller it was than her small body. She felt a little worried because it was, after all, too tall. Don't worry, Xiaoxi, Daddy won't climb up there. It's too inconvenient. Yi Xian was so happy that he gently pinched the little guy's chubby face, then bent down and picked up a stone under the tree. A few local Westerners who were passing by saw this scene and subconsciously took a few steps back, looking at Yi Xian as if they were guarding against a thief, still complaining. These outsiders are really ridiculous. They always want to knock down these coconuts. Aren't they afraid of losing more than they gain and end up with a broken head? Jack, you know that something stupid like this happened on the island before. Not only did that guy fail to drop a coconut, he also smashed a tourist's head and made him bleed. Oh, then for safety's sake, let's get as far away from this lunatic as possible. Several people kept laughing at Yi Xian's behavior, standing at a relatively safe distance, watching from afar, ready to watch the excitement and have some fun themselves. Yi Xian also heard the conversation between these Westerners, but he just smiled casually and didn't take it to heart. He weighed the stone in his hand and began to aim. Come on, Dad. Dad is the best, I'll beat him in one go. Hee, I'll be able to taste fresh coconut juice soon. Several little guys stood behind Yi Xian and did not sit idle either. Instead, they cheered Yi Xian on. Wang Xinyao was still a little worried, so she pulled the little guys to stand a little further away. At this time, many people around were watching this scene, but few of them had any hope for Yi Xian. They thought that it was a pipe dream to think that he could knock the coconut down with just a small stone in his hand. But under the incredulous gazes of the crowd, Yi Xian exerted force with his arm, and the stone in his hand hit the coconut on the top of the coconut tree in front of him at a precise angle. Chapter 252 Catching Crabs. The stone smashed the branches connecting the coconut fruit and the coconut tree with such precision that it made people's scalps tingle. However, before everyone could react, Yi Xian did not dodge at all, but reached out and easily caught the coconut falling from a high place. All this was done in just a few breaths, but the process was smooth. When catching the falling coconut, Yi Xian's arm remained motionless, and he was not affected by the impact of falling from a high place at all. What kind of genius is this? Others can catch swords with their bare hands, but this guy can catch a coconut with one hand. All of a sudden, the crowd was in an uproar, wondering what kind of terrifying strength and physical fitness it took to be able to do all this. Wow! This is really eye-opening. This is the first time I've seen someone catch a coconut like this. Is this still a human being? Amid the people's exclamations, the few Westerners who had just mocked Yixian were so frightened by this scene that their jaws dropped. They stood there in amazement, unable to believe what they had just seen. Yeah. Dad is awesome. We have coconut milk to drink. The little ones were so excited that they danced and looked at their dad with admiration. Yixian smiled gently, made a reassuring gesture to the little guys, then picked up a few stones again and did the same thing as before. Soon, in less than 3 minutes, there were already more than a dozen coconuts piled under Yixian's feet. He thought that this was enough, so he stopped. The crowd watching were completely dumbfounded. Yixian's series of actions just now were flawless and so steady that it was terrifying. Although using stones to smash coconuts is not a very uncommon thing, it is the first time for everyone to see someone like Yixian. Okay, we can drink coconut milk. Gently wiping the dust off his hands, Yixian waved to the little guys with ease, and the little guys immediately surrounded him. Yixian then used a slightly sharp stone to smash the coconut open. The little guys each held one in their arms and savored the sweetness of the coconut milk happily. As for the remaining coconuts, the little guys couldn't finish them, so Yixian didn't waste them. He gave them to the other children who were watching nearby. The crowd cheered again and gave Yixian a thumbs up. Drinking coconut milk and feeling the sea breeze, Yixian and Wang Xinyo accompanied the little ones to experience the charm of the beach. After that, the little guys were still busy, playing in the shallow water from time to time, and building small castles with the sand on the beach. They had a lot of fun. Ah! What a big crab! Several little guys were proudly looking at the castle they had just built, but they saw a palm-sized blue crab suddenly pop out from the sand pile nearby, and they immediately gathered around to watch excitedly. Although they were very excited to see the crab, the little guys still didn't dare to get too close to the crab. After all, it would be very painful if its big claws pinched people. Sister Jingjing, do you dare to catch this crab? Yi Xia stuck out her tongue and looked at Yi Jing beside her. Of course I dare, I'm your eldest sister. Yi Jing pouted her lips, looked full of confidence, and was ready to reach out to grab it. But the claws of this crab are really scary. Sister Jingjing, if you get caught, it will be very painful. Seeing Yi Jing about to reach out to grab him, Yi Shi hurriedly pulled her back and said timidly. That seems to be the case, so I'd better not catch him. Yi Jing swallowed his saliva. He naturally knew that being pinched was very painful, so he took 2 steps back. Kids, what are you doing? Yixian looked at the little guys whispering together and walked over curiously. Dad, we want to catch crabs, but we are afraid of being pinched by crabs. Seeing Yixian coming, Yi Jing hurriedly pulled Yixian over, wanting Yixian to help them catch crabs. Dad, can you help us catch it? Looking at the children's expectant eyes, Yixian shook his head this time. Dad can't help you catch them, but I can teach you how to catch them without getting caught by the crabs, okay? Good. The children were delighted to hear this and nodded excitedly. Hubby, let's not do this. It would be bad if the children get caught in it. Wang Xinyao came over from behind and saw that Yi Xian was going to teach the little ones how to catch crabs. She looked at Yi Xian with some concern. Don't worry, Xinyao. Our children are not flowers in a greenhouse. They will always use their own hands to explore the world. Don't worry. Yi Xian looked at Wang Xinyao meaningfully and said a few words of comfort. It's okay, I'll teach them how to catch them. After all, it's a lot of fun not being able to catch crabs at the beach. Well, all right then. Wang Xinyao looked at Yi Xian's confident look and nodded with relief. Okay, girls, watch carefully. Daddy is going to teach you how to catch crabs. You must watch carefully. Once you learn how to do it, you won't be afraid of being caught by crabs. Then, Yi Xian squatted down and patiently explained to the little ones how to catch crabs. Like this, don't try to grab the crab from the front, just grab the crab's hind legs, and its claws won't be able to reach you. As for how to catch crabs, it was not difficult. Yi Xian just explained it briefly and the little guys learned it. Dad, we learned it, can I try it? Yi Xia's little face turned red with excitement. Looking at the crab in Yi Xian's hand, she was eager to try it. Okay, Xia, come and try it. Yi Xian smiled and put the crab on the ground. Xia, you can do it. Come on. The little guy was breathing heavily, and before reaching out to grab it, he cheered himself up in a serious manner. The other little guys were also watching attentively, breathing out unconsciously from their little mouths. All of them were worried about Yixia. After Yixia gave himself enough energy, he reached out for the blue crab's hind legs and successfully caught the blue crab. Yeah. Dad, look, Xia is caught. Yixia held the crab tightly and looked at Yi Xian excitedly. Ah, Xia is awesome, Dad knew you could do it. Yi Xian smiled dotingly and praised Yixia with a smile. The other little guys were also encouraged and started to try it too. Soon, before long, the little ones all learned how to catch crabs. Although they were still a little scared when catching crabs, they bravely overcame it. Chapter 253 Help. You guys are awesome. You learned it so quickly. Wang Xinyao, who had been watching the little guys from the side, was also happy for them at this time. She followed Yi Xian in praising the little guys for their courage. By the way, there is still one person here who hasn't caught any crabs. Yi Xian looked at Wang Xinyao with a smile. The little ones also reacted immediately and looked at Wang Xinyao with wide eyes. Well, there's still Mom that hasn't been caught yet. Mom, you can do it. Come and try it. Come on, Mom. We believe in you. Encouraged by the little ones, although Wang Xinyao was still a little scared, she still squatted down just like they did. Looking at the crab moving slowly in front of her, Wang Xinyao took a deep breath and quickly grabbed the crab. Feeling the crab struggling in her hands, she tried hard to move its claws backwards. She was so scared that she almost dropped the crab on the ground. Mom made it, too. That's great. When the children saw Wang Xinyao also catching crabs, they had smiles on their faces and had an idea in their minds. Mom and Dad, how about we have a crab catching competition? You and Mom will be on one team, and we will be on another team. Let's see who can catch the most crabs. Looking at the little guys getting ready to try, Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao smiled at each other and nodded slightly. Okay, let's get started. Yeah. Let's go crabbing. After the children cheered, they picked up the small buckets they had used to play with sand and went looking for crabs together. Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao also joined the little ones in the competition. The family was having a great time on the beach. Amidst the laughter and cheers that came from time to time, there was a strong sense of warmth. After catching crabs for a while, the little ones were about to go to the other side of the beach to look for crabs, but they saw a little girl about their age looking around on the beach. She looked anxious and helpless, and her eyes were full of tears. Did she encounter any difficulties? Yi Shi murmured something, and the other little guys nodded. They gave up the crab-catching competition that was in full swing and walked towards the little girl in unison. What's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Did something happen to you? Yi Xiao walked forward, asked the little girl in a low and gentle voice, took out a handkerchief and gently wiped the tears from the little girl's face. I'm lost with my mom. The little girl looked at Yi Jing and the other little ones in front of her and said with a sob. I just ran over to play on the other side, but when I came back, I couldn't find my mother. Ah, that's how it is. Yi Xia and the other girls finally understood what was going on, and immediately offered to help the little girl find her mother. Don't worry, we will help you find your mother, just stop crying. Yes, we will help you find it together, we will definitely find it. Hee hee, and our parents are here too, they can help you look for it. The expressions of the little guys became a little more serious, and they spoke righteously. Really? Thank you. The little girl slowly stopped crying, nodded gently, and looked at Yi Jing and the other girls with gratitude. What's wrong? Did something happen? Just at this time, Yi Xian and Wang Xinyao also noticed the situation here and walked over. Dad, this little girl can't find her mother. We are going to help her look for her. Mom and Dad, why don't you come too? We have strength in numbers and we can definitely help her find it. The little ones quickly told Yi Xian everything that had just happened, and hoped that Yi Xian would help the little girl find her mother. Okay, Dad will listen to you. Yi Xian smiled and immediately agreed to the little guys. Yeah, that is great. Yi Jing smiled and nodded, then turned to look at the little girl beside her. Little sister, can you tell us what your mother looks like and what she wears, so that we can find some more? Well, thank you, sister. The little girl had calmed down a lot at this time, and she was not on guard against the little guys. After all, they were of the same age, and she was very grateful for their enthusiasm. She then started talking about her mother's characteristics. Our children have really grown up and become much more sensible. Wang Xinyao smiled with relief when she saw this scene. It is indeed commendable that these little girls know how to help others. Yes, Xinyao, these little girls always bring us surprises. Yi Xian was also filled with emotion, looking lovingly at the children who were communicating with the little girl. Okay, let's go. After figuring out the appearance and clothes of the little girl's mother, Yi Jing took the initiative to hold the little girl's hand and walked in front. Thank you, sister, you are so kind. The little girl also held Yi Jing's hand tightly and thanked her gratefully. It's okay. We just want to help each other. You guys are here to play, right? Let me introduce myself. My name is Yi Jing. What's your name? Sister Yi Jing, just call me Xiaoyu. Xiaoya called Yi Jing affectionately and had a good impression of this sister who looked a little older than her. Okay, Xiaoya, let's go. Yi Jing held Xiaoya's hand and walked forward first. There were a lot of people on the beach at this time. After searching for a long time, they finally found a woman with an anxious face in the crowd. The woman was looking for her daughter everywhere at this time. Her forehead and face were covered with sweat, her eyes were red, and her expression was almost desperate. Xiaoya, do you think that's your mother? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and instantly caught sight of the woman in the crowd in front of him. Ah! This is my mother. Following the direction of Yi Xian's finger, Xiaoyu saw her mother, and immediately broke free from Yi Jing's hand, and ran towards her mother in 2 steps at a time. Xiaoyu! Mother! The mother and daughter were in perfect harmony with each other. The woman noticed her daughter at the first moment and hugged Xiaoya, tears of excitement in her eyes. Great! Sister Xiaoya has found her mother. Seeing the mother and daughter hugging each other, Yi Jing was also happy for Xiaoya. Xiaoya, who are they? The woman looked at Yi Xian and others in confusion and asked Xiaoyu. Mom, they are good friends I just met, and they helped me find you. Xiaoya smiled and briefly recounted what had happened before. Chapter 254. Thank you. So that's how it is. The woman then realized what was going on and hurriedly walked up to Yi Xian and the others with gratitude. Thank you so much, otherwise I don't know what I would do if I couldn't find my daughter. The tear marks on the woman's face had not completely dried yet. Now that she knew it was Yi Xian and the others who helped her, her gratitude was beyond words. While she spoke, she bowed to Yi Xian and the others. It's okay, this is what we should do. You don't have to be like this. As long as the child is fine, that's enough. Yi Xian quickly helped the woman up, smiling and shaking his head. How about this, I'll treat you to a meal, otherwise I won't know how to thank you. The woman wiped away her tears of excitement and invited Yi Xian and others to have dinner together. Auntie, that's not necessary. Just take Xiaoya back with you. We are very happy to meet Xiaoya. Yi Jing walked up sensibly, politely rejected the woman's kindness, and extended her hand to Xiaoya with a smile. Xiaoya, nice to meet you. Goodbye. Well, goodbye, Sister Yi Jing. Seeing this, the woman stopped forcing him, but continued to thank him profusely, and watched Yi Xian and the others leave with Xiaoyu. In the evening, Yi Xian took the children and Tang Hao, Long Ling and others to set up a barbecue grill on the beach and grilled all the crabs they caught. After saying goodbye to Xiaoya and her daughter, Yi Xian and the children happened to come across a coconut crab that was enjoying the cool air. They put it on the barbecue grill and prepared to enjoy a good feast. When Longshire and the others saw that they were going to have a barbecue, they noticed that they had nothing in their hands. Although night had already fallen, they still went to the beach and caught some fat and beautiful sea fish, including flounder and pomfret, and they were lucky enough to get a big yellow croaker. The children were very excited and kept running around the fire, humming little songs. Bai Ling and Wang Xinyo were not idle either, they were slicing the meat, while Yi Xian was responsible for the grilling and seasoning. Okay, we can start eating now, everyone come and eat. After being busy for a while, bursts of aroma finally came from the barbecue grill. Yi Xian smiled and waved to everyone, and called over a few little guys who were still playing. It's delicious. Brother Yi, your cooking skills are really good. Bai Ling grabbed a piece of fish and her lips were shiny from eating it. The aroma of the meat burst out the moment it entered her mouth, followed by several layers of fragrance that burst out as well. She couldn't help but let out an exclamation. Well, the crabs we caught are delicious too. The children tasted the crabs they caught themselves first, but they did not eat all of them themselves. They also shared portions with Longshire, Bai Ling and others, and spoke in baby voices. Sister Bai Ling, Uncle Longshire, these are the crabs we caught ourselves, come and have a try. Okay, thank you. Bai Ling took it with a smile, kept one for herself, and stuffed the other directly into Longshire's mouth. Longzhi looked at Bai Ling with some resentment, but did not say much. Instead, he tasted the food slowly and leisurely. Neither of them wanted to argue anymore. After all, everyone was tired of arguing during the day. In the firelight, Yixian's family had a great time, enjoying seafood barbecue and coconut milk, and spent a wonderful night. The next morning, Yixian and others got up very early. Before the sky turned light, they brought a few little guys to the beach. Because yesterday the little ones were amazed by the scene of the sun setting over the sea level, and they clamored to come and see the sunrise this morning, so they came to the beach at this moment. Wrapped in outer clothes and blowing in the morning sea breeze, the little ones felt a little chilly, but their desire for the beautiful sunrise overcame the insignificant cold. Look, the sun is coming out. Not long after, with Yishi's exclamation, a ball of golden light appeared on the originally dark sea surface. It looked like a dream as it drifted with the waves. Several little guys were stunned. Their eyes were deeply attracted by the beautiful scenery and also filled with the ball of light. It's really beautiful. Wang Xinyo had been wrapped in Yixian's windbreaker because of the cold. Now she was staring at the sunshine that seemed like the first moment of her life. She was also deeply attracted by it all, and gradually she no longer felt so cold. After enjoying the beautiful sunrise on the beach, everyone left the beach. On the way back, Yixian noticed a tea garden, called a few little guys and Wang Xinyo, and said with a smile, "Let's go in and have some tea. We were blown by a cold wind just now, so it would be nice to have a cup of hot tea now." "Okay. We want to drink too." The little guys nodded and became excited about drinking tea, so they walked into the tea garden together. Just after finding a place to sit down and ordering a pot of tea, Yixian suddenly heard a familiar voice. "Uncle and Aunt. Sister. You are here too." Following the source of the voice, everyone looked over and saw that the person was none other than Xiaoye, whom Yixian and others helped find her mother yesterday, followed by her parents. "Sister Xiaoye, why are you here?" "Well, I came here to have tea with my parents." "What a coincidence, we are too. Come and sit here quickly." The little ones looked at Xiaoye excitedly, and warmly invited her to sit down with them. They were as affectionate to each other as if they were sisters. "Sir, we meet again." Xiaoye's mother also came over and saw Yixian and Wang Xinyo. She was still very grateful in her heart. "Thank you so much for yesterday. My husband had to go out for something. If it weren't for you, I really don't know what I would have done. You are too kind, ma'am. This is what we should do." Yixian waved his hand, indicating that this was what he should do and there was no need to thank him for anything. Yes, after all, we are from a foreign country, but we are all Chinese people. We should help each other. Wang Xinyo also smiled and nodded. At this moment, a middle-aged man in a suit and tie with an extraordinary demeanor beside the woman also came over and politely thanked Yixian and Wang Xinyo. "You too, that's what I said, but we should still thank you. If we really can't find my precious daughter, I don't know how I'm going to live." The man sincerely thanked Yixian and Wang Xinyo, and then spoke enthusiastically. "I think it's a great fate that we can sit together today. Let me invite you all to drink tea together and chat while we drink. Then I'd rather obey you than be disrespectful." Chapter 255. Mr. Yi, why are you here? Yixian pursed his lips and smiled. Since the other party said so, he didn't say anything else. The two families then sat together. The man called the waiter and ordered 2 pots of good tea, as well as some cakes and snacks for the children. The children were chatting among themselves, and Yixian and Wang Xinyo also started chatting with the little girl's parents. After getting to know each other, the man politely took out a business card and handed it to Yixian in front of him. This man has some status and is also the director of a Huaxia group. "Thank you so much, little brother. You are also Chinese. Take this business card. If you need me for anything in the future, just give me a call. I still have some connections in China." "Okay, I'll take it then." Yixian smiled and did not refuse, and took the business card. "Little brother, it is fate that we meet in a foreign country. After we finish our tea, let's have a meal together." The man smiled slightly, and when he saw Yixian took the business card, he suggested that everyone have a meal together. However, before Yixian could say anything, a boss walked in from outside. As soon as he came in, he saw Yixian. The man who had just invited Yixian to dinner also saw these CEOs, and his heart was suddenly shocked. He looked at the door in disbelief. He knew the identities of these people. They were all the CEOs of large Chinese groups. The identity of each of them was enough for him to look up to. They were very important figures in China. Excuse me, little brother. I have to excuse myself for a moment. After saying this, the man left his seat and prepared to shake hands with these CEOs to deepen their impressions of each other. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, when the man passed by several bosses, he just stretched out his hand and was about to say something, but was directly ignored by these bosses. Mr. Yi. Why are you here? What a coincidence. I actually met you, Mr. Yi, here. Mr. Yi, are you here for tourism? This is a pretty nice place. The bosses didn't even notice the man just now. They just walked up to Yi Xian and asked about his well-being. Their expressions and actions were very excited. After all, this is in a foreign country, and it is really not easy to meet Yi Xian here. How can they not be excited? The man was stunned at this moment. Who are these people? They are the presidents of the Huaxia Group. But even such a person can be so polite to Yi Xian. Doesn't that mean Yi Xian's status is far beyond those bosses? In front of these CEOs, he was nothing. So the gap between his status and Yi Xian's was. Thinking of this, the man's face suddenly turned pale and he stood there for a moment, feeling so embarrassed that he didn't know how to describe it. But before, I actually asked others to tell me something, but now it seems that I am just asking for humiliation. Xiaoya's mother, who was still sitting in her seat, was also stunned. She did not expect that Yi Xian would have such an identity. Thinking about what her husband had just said, even she felt a little ashamed. Mr. Yi, are we disturbing you? Yes, forgive us for being a little excited. Mr. Yi, if it's inconvenient, let's visit again later. After a while of excitement, the bosses noticed that Wang Xinyao and a few little ones were sitting next to Yi Xian, and their expressions suddenly became much more guilty. It's okay, let's have tea together. Yi Xian smiled and shook his head, and invited everyone to sit down and have tea. Thank you, Mr. Yi. We'll be welcome then. Several CEOs were also delighted and felt flattered, and quickly sat down. By the way, Mr. Yi, what are you doing here? Are you really here for tourism? After one of the CEOs sat down, he asked curiously. Yeah, I have nothing to do recently, so I brought my family over to have some fun. Yi Xian nodded. There was really nothing else to do this time. He just wanted to take Wang Xinyao and the children out to play. Just as Yi Xian was chatting with a few bosses, the man who had been standing there in a daze finally reacted and walked over with a puzzled look on his face. What is the identity of this Mr. Yi? The man was extremely shocked. Although he didn't know Yi Xian's identity, he had a vague feeling that he must be a terrifying existence. Ha, this Mr. Yi is no ordinary person. One of the CEOs chuckled and recognized the man as the head of that group, so he explained with a smile. You must know the Qingling potion. Mr. Yi is the developer of the Qingling potion, which has benefited the entire Chinese people. What? Hearing this, the man was completely stunned. His entire body felt numb from the soles of his feet to the top of his head, as if he had been struck by lightning. He stared at Yi Xian in amazement, his lips moving up and down, not knowing what to say. The developer of Qingling potion. What kind of identity and status is this? If this were in China, he would be admired by countless people even when walking on the street. The spirit of developing the Qingling potion without asking for a penny is enough to be recorded in the history books and is fully worthy of being remembered by future generations. The man felt a little dizzy at the moment, thinking about his own behavior just now. He was totally ignorant of the immensity of the world. Mr. Yi, I'm so sorry. I didn't know your identity just now. Please forgive me if I have offended you in any way. In an instant, the man's head and face were covered with cold sweat. He felt rude for his previous behavior and quickly bent down to apologize to Yi Xian. What's going on? What happened? When several bosses saw the man's behavior, they were confused for a moment and asked curiously. It's okay, nothing happened just now, it doesn't matter. Yi Xian smiled and waved his hand, not taking the matter to heart. He helped the man up and sat him on the chair. What's the big deal? Don't think too much. Just sit down and have some tea together. Chapter 256 Going to the Pirate Settlement. After everyone drank some tea together, the children also drank some tea to warm themselves up. When we got back home in the evening, it was already late, but the children were still playing games together. Although they got up early this morning, they were still very energetic and not sleepy at all. Girls, we should go to bed. It's very late now. Yi Xian walked over with a smile and told the little ones to go to bed quickly. Now Wang Xinyo had already fallen asleep, so no matter how much fun they had, it was time for them to go to bed. Dad, but we don't want to go to bed yet. Yi Jing pursed her lips and shook her head gently. Her big watery eyes looked at Yi Xian aggrievedly. She really didn't feel any tiredness at all. Dad, please let us play for a while longer. We will go to bed later. Yeah, Dad, we'll be energetic tomorrow. Why don't you just go to bed first, Dad, and we can sneak in quietly later? For a moment, the little guys looked at Yi Xian eagerly, shouting that they didn't want to sleep yet, and then started to make a fuss again. Oh, you little guys. Yi Xian also felt a little helpless, so he had to move closer with a smile and spoke mysteriously to the little guys. How about this, if you just go to bed nicely, Dad will tell you some good news, okay? Good news. The little guys became excited when they heard this and looked at Yi Xian with anticipation. Well, as long as you get some sleep, Dad will take you to a nearby island tomorrow. The scenery there should be pretty good. Ah. Really? When the children heard that they were going to play on a nearby island, they jumped up and down, suddenly finding it difficult to calm down their excitement and threw themselves into Yi Xian's arms. Dad, you are so nice. We are going to bed now, but you can't lie to us. Yi Xia blinked and gave Yi Xian a little finger. Ha, Dad has never lied to you before. He will definitely take you there, so don't worry. Narrowing his eyes, Yi Xian smiled and made a pinky promise with Yi Xia, promising the children what to do for tomorrow, and then let them go to bed obediently. But even so,